For example, if I say something like, roll a strength check or roll a strength saving throw, most of those will be on the core sheet. You'll go to where it says strength, or you'll go to where it says saving throws, which are on the left-hand side. The strength, dexterity, constitution, etc. are running down that left-hand side. You would click right on it. Feel free to. It's just going to roll it. If I said saving throw, you'd click in the saving throw box, which is a little to the right. And if we happen to be asking for a skill check, something like acrobatics or deception or stealth, a little further down you see a list of your skills there. Moving over to the middle column is where you're going to see some of your basic combat statistics, things like your armor class, your initiative, your hit points, and then down below are your attacks. So in that middle section where you've got things that might say something like longsword or firebolt or crossbow or vicious mockery, go ahead and click one of those and it'll cast that spell or make that attack. And we'll talk all about all that stuff later, but basically it's just kind of point and click. Now, one of the things I will ask everyone to do, at the very top right-hand corner of their sheet, there should be an edit button. If you hit that edit button, you should see a name, and please go ahead and type your character's name in there.
I do not see the edit button, by the way.
Do not see an edit button.
Nope. I can go through the sheet and I can edit stuff in it, but I can't do the actual...
I thought you guys had that. Maybe not. So if not, then in the upper left-hand corner of the core section, where you see the title that I gave it, thing like the Wizened Gnome or the Heavily Armored Human, just click in there and type in the new character name that you'd like to have.
Just making it up?
Anything you'd like. So far, we have Gillian. Nope.
Gillian.
We have... This is going to kill me. We have
Perfect.
Gillian, and we have Vaz, and I think the full one is Vaznoni. Vaznoni. I'm going to need notes. So we have Gillian, and we have Vaz so far. And while that's happening, let me go ahead and get those icons straightened up the rest of the way. And I think Kyle is going to be joining us as a player, though I don't have 100% confirmation on that.
I will not be joining as a player. However, I did just hit the start stream button. For this
shit.
Warning!
Well, I wanted to catch the explanation that you were doing because it was relatively intuitive. So here we are.
Here we go. Excellent. So, welcome. This is Captain Reboot. My name is Casey. I am torturing several new players and several experienced players with an experiment of my own devising, meaning I wanted to play a game, so I invited them to play, and they said yes, and that's awesome. So, what we're doing at the moment is we are running a one-shot through the Sunless Citadel. We've done 3 versions of this so far: a Noble run, a Kobold run, a something else run, and now we're on the Goblin run. And so what that means is the players will be receiving a quest given by a Goblin, and this Goblin happens to be my favorite NPC, and that's where they're going to start off. But at the moment, we are selecting characters from a list of pre-generated characters. We're picking out some names, and we're taking a look at Roll20. And now I get to have the fun of embarrassing people and saying, hey, would everyone be so kind as to introduce yourselves as you would like to be known? And maybe say your character's name if you've landed on it so far. And anybody can talk.
Are we starting any particular way?
Nope.
Or?
Yeah, see, this is, we like to get these awkward silences out of the way, so we just like
Perfect.
throw that dead air out there.
I guess I'll start first. So wait,
Sure.
Character name and actual name, or what?
As much as you are willing to share.
Okay. Xiphor here, the guy that also plays Silthorn in the Tormana game on Fridays. I'm not playing Silthorn. I'm playing a half-elf warlock this time, named Gillian. Yo, what up?
What up?
I am a new player to this, and my name is Brynn, and my character's name is Vaznoni.
Yay!
Thank you, Brynn.
I am Thomas. I am playing a variant human fighter named Aiden, and I'm an experienced player. I play Valandra in the Thursday Tyranny game.
Valandra, who heals all of our party.
She's very good at it.
She
MVP.
is.
I'm Aislinn. I'm also new to this. I will be playing a wizened gnome named Brant.
Awesome. So, welcome aboard. And I've got a few more moments of housekeeping to get done here. I'm frantically scrambling. As I frantically scramble, we already got Brant. We got Foz. We got Gillian, Aiden. Aiden's the
Yep.
one. As I frantically scramble, does anyone have any questions right off the bat about D&D in general, me personally, the channel, anything like that? I am a Gemini. I'm sorry I'm taken, but I'm flattered you asked. No?
Oh, damn it. There goes
Oh
my-
man.
Just
I guess my
trying
Valentine's
so
Day.
hard to throw it out there, but... Alright.
It's okay.
So, in case you didn't know, the object of D&D is to have fun. The rules are a little less important, though during this we're going to try and stick to a couple of them. And part of the experiment is to step through 3 or 4 or 5 segments that I think are kind of like the guts of when I play D&D. These things generally happen. And that'll be things like conversations, that'll be things like combat, that'll be things like opportunities to make a complete fool out of me or yourselves, depending on how the dice go. And so for the first of that, what I would like to do is introduce the characters to the quest giver. And the way we're going to do that is by opening up the turn order. And so you should just see a thing pop up on your screen. And that is the turn order. And that is generally an indicator that combat is about to start, though there are other times that it might be used. This is one of those. And what I would like to ask you to do is open up your character sheets. Don't click anything just yet.
Ooh, that's nice.
So, now you should all see a desert-looking area. Specifically, these are the outskirts of the Ashen Plains, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But if you could each click on your token once, that should highlight your token, and generally it'll make 3 little bubbles pop up, one of which will be showing your hit points, one of which will show your armor class, and the other one will be blank. When that token is selected, then go back to your character sheet and hit the button that says Initiative, which is kind of in the top on the center of the core.
Whew.
Ooh. Same initiative.
Exact same initiative.
All right, so we might be using some alphabetical tiebreakers here.
Mine isn't clicking.
Where it says the word Initiative.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep, it's always the word, not the number.
Except
So
when it's
hover over
not.
the text.
So any rule that we give
It's
you, there's
usually
always
the word, not the number.
There's always the chance that it's not.
It's always usually the word.
Always
Oz, is it
usually.
fighting with you?
Okay, so we're opening up the little sheets like when we click on our names, right?
You got it. So click on the name to open up the sheet. On the sheet, click on the core option. And in the top and the middle, basically above your attacks, you should see the word Initiative.
If you see a little shield icon, it's right next to it.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yep, found it.
Yep.
There you go.
Awesome.
Oof.
All right. So
Oh my god.
So now that's your first ever roll.
so
Oh my god.
here's a little bit of how D&D works. So D&D is generally going to be based on die rolls. One of the
So
most
yeah, you were asking about how I am with rolling dice and stuff. I think that's
Yep.
your answer.
There you go.
This is gonna be a good night.
So most of the D rolls are going to be a D20, and then you're going to have some modifiers to it. Roll20 does some nice math for us, so it takes care of most of the modifiers. And now I'm going to go ahead and put us in turn order. So turn order, we go descending order, which puts Brant at the top of the turn order. And so now we'll talk about what's happening. So the four of you have been traveling together for some time, and we're actually going to find out how long a little bit later. I'm going to ask you guys to talk a little bit about yourselves, and at certain points I might ask you to talk about the party as a whole. Please try and always build off of what the other people say. If they say something completely outrageous that just isn't going to fly, you can be like, could we just adjust that a little bit? And that's fine, but otherwise try and roll with the punches. You will get your opportunity to do terrible things to them as well, I promise. As far as the setting goes, you are traveling south along a path towards the town of Oakhurst. It is winter, and it is bitterly cold. The area that you're passing through is known as the Ashen Plains, a place where long, long ago a dragon rampaged and burned down an enormous forest, leaving just these huge swaths of ash and dead land. Away to the west, a forest known as Neverwinter can be seen as a dark smudge on the horizon. To the east, rising in broken and jagged peaks, the Crags, a place where orcs, goblins, and other unsavory types are known to hang out. The path that you are traveling is seldom tread, but it is established. There's a small amount of trade, but usually not in the winter months. You're traveling to Oakhurst, having heard that a particular magic item is going up for sale or auction. This item, an apple, bleach white, and deadly poisonous. It's said even to touch it is to die. Now, there are many things in this world that need killing, and the four of you have come up with one or two that could probably use to die. This might be for the benefit of society, this might be for your own nefarious purposes, but you've come to travel together and we'll find out why as we move along. You're about a day's travel still out from Oakhurst, so you've been able to see the lights in the distance as you come up and down over the hills and rolling land. But quite close, nestled amongst several large boulders and outcroppings in the ashy sand, is, well, they're tents. They're almost buildings, but also not quite hovels. They look just disreputable. Coming trundling towards you out of those is a goblin. Now, goblins, as you're well aware, are not folks with the best of reputations. They tend to be a little crude, a little crass, and a little mischievous. This is what your typical goblin might look like. And hopefully a handout just popped up for you.
Yee.
All right. Take a look at that typical goblin, and once you're tired of looking at that, you can go ahead and click off it. But one such creature is moving towards you. Now, you've been traveling for some time. Night is falling. It would be nice to have a place to camp. And calling out to you, you hear, "Hey! Welcome, fellas! Come on in! Welcome to Shay's Goblin, the most beautiful resort you could possibly imagine. We have all the comforts. Fire, walls, and roofs." Now, the first person that this goblin approaches happens to be Brant. And as this goblin comes within range of seeing you in detail, Brant, what does this goblin see? What do you look like?
I have to look like my token.
You can look like anything you want.
Okay. Well, I'm a gnome, so I believe I'm short, right?
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'm wearing some majestic-looking robes, but they're very tattered, and they have a lot of wrinkles, and they look dirty. And I have a long white hair and some deep wrinkles in my skin.
Well, hey, look, we have the most finest of irons that we could just take care of those wrinkles for you. We just take them right out, so you'd be like all finely pressed. Would you like to come and sit down?
Oh, thank you, kind sir. I think I'm all right with my wrinkles the way that they are.
Well, I hear that's what happens when you get older, but we could just take those years right off you, so you could come sit down and have a nice time.
Well, actually, I don't think that's going to do it for me, but myself and my companions here, well, there might be something that we're interested in.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Well, let's see what we have here. And he looks past Brant, and past Brant, it seems that Gillian will be the next to catch this goblin's eye. Oh, well, hello. And Gillian, what does the goblin see? And don't forget push to talk if you're on push to talk.
I always fucking forget. God damn it. I forgot. The first thing that I said I wouldn't forget. God damn it. Okay. So pretty much what he would be seeing would be, well, I don't know exactly how tall I am, but I'm way taller than Brant because I'm not a gnome. I'm a half elf. And somewhat tattered clothing. It's not fine, but it's not dirty either. It's like, it's what you can get out of your closet at like 5 a.m. because you have to go for the bus kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's like it works. It's functional, you know. And it's trying to look okay, but it's trying. It's trying.
You know, I see you guys as an opportunity to introduce my friends. Look, see this fella over here? That's Geppetto. Geppetto runs GQ, Goblin's Quarterly. He can set you up with the best outfits. How about that? You could stay here as Chase Goblin and shop at GQ. Yeah.
I think my clothing is quite all right, but thank you.
Well, I'm sure it's fine, but wouldn't you like to have a nice, wonderful outfit to wear as well?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, how about you? He turns. Okay, that's a hard no. How about you, Aiden? So Aiden, as the goblin turns to look towards you, what does he see?
He sees a human, late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there, wearing travel-stained clothes, simple and rustic, but well-made, wearing chainmail, has a shield on his back and a long sword at his side. He tanned, he has dark brown eyes, and he's a little scruffy, with a short hair and a beard and mustache, kind of like you see on the icon there.
Sure. Well, look at this handsome fellow here. He could be on the cover of one of our new magazines. Yeah, look, why don't we all appreciate how handsome he is?
What's a magazine?
A magazine? It's what you keep arrows in.
Well, I already got one of those.
Well, yeah, but look, we can put your face all over it, and it would serve as sort of like an advertising. That you'd be like, hey, where'd you get that fancy magazine? And he'd be like, hey, I got it at Chase Goblin, the greatest place to stay in the Ashen Plains.
That sounds like a good deal for you, but I'm not sure how it would benefit me.
Well, think of how handsome you would be. No?
He just raises an eyebrow, skeptically.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll have some better looks with the fashionable you. And he gestures to Vaz. Vaz, what does he see as he hopes that you are the fashionable one of the group?
She's a dwarf of normal height, though she likes to tell others that she is one among the taller. She has bright red hair, and though her armor obviously is well worn, it is well cared for.
That takes good care of her outfits and would be even more improved with just like maybe a little accent here or there. Geppetto, what do you think? And Geppetto just looks early. Yeah, this got good outfits on, and this is a nice layout. I like them. I could work with that, yeah.
I don't quite know. Do you guys happen to have any good swords in stock?
Well, I deal primarily in, softer goods. This is Goblin's Quarterly. I think what you're looking for is perhaps Goblin's Quartermaster. It's very easy to get confused. We both go by GQ.
Well, if there's no swords in stock, then you haven't gotten my interest.
Well, how about this wonderful place that you can rest? Look at my fine chaise goblins. You're not gonna walk off her tonight in the cold?
I honestly think I'm good.
I don't know, guys. Maybe we should consider that offer.
Yeah, consider that offer.
What time of day is it, really?
It is nightfall, so you will need to set up camp soon, and this is the only really habitable-looking outcropping. They've sort of cornered the market on shelter.
How would we exactly know that you would not be stealing from us in our sleep?
Whereas your innkeeper and personal assistant, I would be absolutely trustworthy.
Right. If I look at the other guy, like at Geppetto, is he lying?
Well, I think that is an excellent reason to do our first skill roll of the evening, which is Insight. And Insight is basically what you use when you're like, is this person lying to me? Or to get an idea of what's going on in a situation. So, if you would open up your character sheet, left-hand side, second column, about halfway down, you should see a list of skills and hit Insight.
I love that even this guy is bad at Insight. Oh, so fun. You follow me everywhere. 5. That's a 5.
That is a 5. So on a scale of 1 to 20, that's below average.
Very.
But Brynn's not doing too bad. And actually, if I could ask at the bottom of that chat cycle, so where those rolls popped up, you've got a little icon that says as : and then it'll say a name. Click in there and choose your character's name so that I don't make the horrible mistake of confusing one character for a different person. Especially since we've got 2 BRs going on there, and I am a simple person at heart.
We all roll Insight?
If you want to try and figure out if this person's lying to you, if you are suspicious, if you've already made up your mind, you don't need to roll Insight. And all of a sudden the Insight checks.
It's goblins, my dude.
It is goblins. So these two, to Brant at least, seem honest. The others are having a little bit of trouble figuring out what's going on. They do tend to banter back and forth like salespeople. They've also got really bad accents. But it seems like for a couple of copper, they'd let you in on the tent, and they would probably leave you alone for the night. That seems like their scam. There's not any weapons on them. They don't look like bandits, and it doesn't look like their tents have been slashed and torn by angry villagers in the past. So this is probably their deal.
Okay. I have
Should we settle in?
gameplay question.
Sure.
Numbers on the roll?
So numbers on the roll, basically you're rolling on a scale of 1 to 20, and you wanted to roll high. Rolling low is less, rolling high is better. Sometimes you'll have a contested roll where they'll be trying to deceive you, in which case they might be rolling a deception. So, for example, if they were trying to deceive you, they might do so like that. And in which case, they would have not done well at deceiving you at all. Now, you'll see two sets of rolls. The one on the left-hand side is the first roll. So if you're just rolling a single die, which is a normal roll, we only use the left-hand number.
Okay.
The number on the right comes up because sometimes you'll have what's called advantage, in which case you would take the two rolls and take the higher of the two. Sometimes you'll have disadvantage, in which case you take two rolls and you take the lower of the two. And we'll talk about when those hit in the meantime. But at the moment, Brant at the 15 was the most insightful of the bunch. And Brant is like, yep, this is probably on the up and up. They're, slightly con artists in that they're trying to, make a couple of copper off of a natural feature, which is an outcropping of stone. But they did at least put up a tent. Sort of.
Okay. So, party, I think this is in our best interest to stay here tonight. I mean, they're probably going to cheat us out of a little more coin than we'd like to spend, but it's better than sleeping on the ground in the wilderness at night.
Agreed.
Sure.
There seems to be a delusion that I actually have a couple copper.
You guys have a couple of copper.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I agree too. That's the best idea you guys have ever had in the whole of today. So why don't you guys come on over here and make yourselves comfortable? See, we have lovely pillows made of sand. So just go ahead and make yourself as many pillows as you want.
I'll be honest, Casey. That voice is a little too Jar Jar Binks for me.
I hear it now. Now I hear it.
I've been told that I have a few people who do impersonations of me, and one of those was in a major motion picture, and I was very flattered. But that's okay. So welcome. My name's Tittles. That's Geppetto. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know, and we'll be happy to get that done. And of course, you would want the same in return, right? If there's anything you could do for us, we'd want you to tell us, right?
What? Say that again?
Well, yeah, like we're saying, if there's anything that we could do for you, you just tell us. And of course, if there's anything you could do for us, you'd want to know, right?
I mean, it would depend on what we might be getting out of this exchange, but we'd hear your offer.
Well, that's very reasonable of you. I happen to be in possession of particular knowledge, which I would be willing to dispense to you for your assistance.
What kind of
Go
knowledge?
Well, it just so happens that I know where a certain apple of a white color is right now. And it occurs to me that most people would not be traveling in the middle of winter down this particular road unless they were interested in that apple. Would you like that apple?
You know the location of the Bad Touch apple?
Well, we don't call it the Bad Touch apple because that sounds a little dirty, but that's fine. We could call it the Bad Touch apple if you want.
Right.
Yeah, usually it's like Death Head's apple, or like the Poisonous apple, or like Doom apple. But yeah, Bad Touch apple, sure, why not? Whatever fruit you want, buddy.
I like
Heard it called the apple of despair.
Also that.
Oh?
So, yeah,
What do we have to do for such information?
well, see, that's where it becomes a little complicated. I, as you may have noticed, am a goblin, but, there's some kobolds, and, kobolds, they're the little dragon guys,
And you are aware of the kobold race. They're similar in stature to goblins and considered a nuisance as well. They look like tiny, teeny tiny, wingless dragons, and they generally have a bad reputation because they are associated with the evil goddess Tiamat, the five-headed, destroy the world, chromatic dragon.
Yeah, so these kobolds, they came in our house and they wrecked the place up and they took over a significant portion of our citadel. And maybe you guys could help us get rid of them, and we could give you an apple.
Have
Apple
the
in your
apple, you
possession.
You
saying?
have the apple.
Well, not right now, but we will have the apple as soon as the kobolds is taken care of.
That seems suspicious.
Do I believe him?
Well,
So you're saying that
Hmm.
we have to defeat something before you can get the apple. We have to defeat the kobolds.
well, it's more of kind of a tit for tat sort of thing. See, the kobolds, they's causing trouble for us and for the hobgoblins, because the hobgoblins don't want the kobolds there, and they're like, "Hey, goblins, go kill those kobolds." And we're like, "We tried, but they captured some of us, and now we don't want our friends to die, so we're like in a stalemate. But if you could kill the kobolds and free our friends, then the hobgoblins would be like, 'Good job, goblins,' and we'd be like, 'Yeah,' and they'd be like, 'Here's the apple.' And we'd be like, 'Yeah,' and they were like, 'Here's the apple for you,' and then we give you the apples."
Why don't we
Seems-
just go talk to the hobgoblins ourselves?
That was my thought.
Well,
I agree.
see, the hobgoblins, they want to take the apple and sell the apple, and then they have the monies, and with the monies, they're going to bring in more hobgoblins, and all the hobgoblins are going to be, "Kill them kobolds," and that'd be fine, but then what the goblins going to do?
My dear friend, why don't you just point us in the direction of these hobgoblins that you speak of so fondly of?
Well, I wouldn't say it's fondness.
It's merely meeting our own business partners now.
Well, I mean, if he wants to meet the hobgoblins, he can. You're gonna have to kind of go through the kobolds to get to them, but that's fine. That's fine. Guys, you guys are tough. You could probably get through.
How many kobolds are we talking about?
Well, if you was to like fight them all at once, like rounds them up and like hits them with like a, boom, there'd probably be like 30 of them. But yeah, you guys wouldn't do that. You guys would be like sneaking, like choke them out. So like maybe 5 or 6 at a time.
Ian, sounds interesting.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
Do we know where they were seen last?
oh yeah, I mean, there's in our house. There's in our citadel.
Of course.
I mean, I
And
can point you on the way, and then when you go there, you'll be like, obviously these kobolds are bad, and the goblins are good, and you can take care of the kobolds.
How do we know that
Well-
the hobgoblins are gonna pull up their end of the deal that you're making on their behalf?
Well, see, the hobgoblins owe us the apple if we take care of the kobolds, but we hasn't been able to take care of the kobolds.
This is an actual deal you guys have with the hobgoblins.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dern's the hobgoblin leader, and there's 4 hobgoblins, and there's like 40 of us. And like, if we was like, "Hey, Dern, where's our apple?" And he was like, "No apple for you," we'd be like, "That's not okay." And then Dern, he'd never wake up again.
it sounds to me like you could handle the kobolds yourselves then. You have numbers.
Well, yeah, but they has our friends, and we don't want our friends to get hurt.
Like a hostage situation?
Yeah, like hostages. But see, like then if we attack, they'd be like, "No, we'll hurt these goblins," and we'll be like, "No, please." But if you attack, why would they think you guys care about the goblins? I mean, you're very kind and considerate and loving of goblins, but they don't know that.
I see where you were getting at.
Yeah.
Well, Tiddles, do you think we could have a moment to ourselves to discuss this privately? The
Well,
party, I mean?
Of course, I'll go over and see Geppetto, and we'll talk about maybe like a nice cape for you to wear when you march victoriously through the town.
Sounds good.
And so the goblin moves off and leaves you with the larger of the 10, which is, of course, spacious enough for 4 of you if you hunker for a little bit and ignore how foul-smelling the fire is. It's rather comfortable.
Doesn't sound suspicious in the least.
Totally not.
What other leads do we have on the apple?
None if you think about it, but still trusting goblins.
I don't know about trusting goblins, but it sounds like the hobgoblins have the apple anyway.
Yeah, maybe we
we'll
don't
actually
even
give it to the goblins.
Did our information not say that it was somewhere in Oakhurst?
So the information that you have is that in Oakhurst, the apple is auctioned off. However, let's find out what you do know. So if anyone who would like to try and recall information about this, please go ahead and hit your skill for either history, if you're thinking about what you know in the past, or investigation if you're trying to put clues together. And you can only choose one of the two. Please go ahead and click your skill.
Oh, this is good.
21.
They're both good.
1. I am not the ideas guy.
So Gillian and Vaz do have this on lock. Aiden and Brant, not so much. So thinking back over the years, the town of Oakhurst has auctioned off a pair of apples. In the summer, an apple that has great healing capabilities. In the winter, more rarely, one that is poisonous and deadly to the touch. The auction happens at the ruins of a sunless citadel, and the apple is brought up from below and auctioned off. Goblins transport the apple to the villager and bring it forth, but the village handles things because nobody wants to give goblins a large sum of money. So the village collects it and then distributes after the auction, and everyone's gone their separate ways. The winter auction is being held this year, and you're heading down to the town. You know, if you were to go to the town, then other people would be bidding on it as well, and the price could get very high, depending on who needed what killed. This would be an opportunity to scoot ahead in the line.
We could be intercepting the line for the bidding.
You got it. And this would save you all quite a bit of money.
We have money.
You do have money.
Speak for yourself.
You do
I
have
would rather
money.
keep it.
You do have money, but it is not available for you to spend because it's all put aside in this big
Alright,
auction
yeah.
fund.
Okay.
I think if we cut our adventure short, it is already winter, and the more we travel, the more perilous it gets. It is best, I think, if we take the opportunity.
It's true. Taking on this risk now saves us from additional risk of traveling further down the road.
What do you say,
See your
Boz?
point. Entirely all for it. I am with Gillian on this.
Is it too late to roll insight on Tiddles and see if he's telling us the truth about who has the apple?
It is never too late to roll. So the basic rules on that I follow is you get 1 attempt. If you want to try again, then the attempt comes at disadvantage. This will be the first attempt inciting about the apple, so go ahead and roll your insight.
Can I assist?
Sure. So
as a teaching moment.
Sure. So that is a example of the help action. If you have 2 characters working on something at once, one character rolls, the other helps, and therefore you get advantage on the roll. So if you could go ahead and click your insight skill, we'll see 2 rolls come up. You get to take the higher of the 2, which happened to be the first one rolled, so you got a 13. And staring deep into this goblin's soul, you're like, yeah, he actually looks pretty desperate and semi-honest. You think that, yes, if you were to accomplish these tasks, the apple would be provided to you.
Okay.
Or we think that the goblin that anyway.
Yes. You believe that, yes. There could be
I'm not
unforeseen
too
circumstances.
confident in the goblin's insight check, personally. Right. So, but it seems like a better opportunity than just continuing on to Oakhurst and taking our chances on whether or not we'll have enough to get it.
Sure.
Right.
So, Tittles the Goblin and Geppetto provide you with the best comforts that could be expected in these rough conditions. There is some water drawn up from a deep well, but it tastes a little ashy after having been contaminated over the years. The walls hold out most of the dust and debris blowing around, and they do make some effort to cook food, but you probably would rather eat your rations.
Have they already cooked food, or do they start?
They start.
Okay. Can I try and take over cooking for them?
Sure.
Because I've eaten goblin food before.
Or does he like the cooks?
And they hand over their, little. Looks like they beat a shield into submission at some point and kind of cook on the shield. It's a serviceable piece of metal, and it's got a handle.
Gillian might actually go and help, just prepping.
Sure.
Sous chef.
You got it. And this is an example of how does it come out? How is your cooking skill? Are you good at cooking generally?
I have proficiency with it. I don't know which attribute you want it to be based on.
No, we don't even need to roll it. Just knowing that you are
okay.
Just knowing that you are an adequate cook as compared to an anime protagonist bad.
Oh no. No, I'm not a gourmet chef, but I make a good, hearty stew or, plain fare, but
yeah,
good.
Well, that looks delicious. Thank you for all of your bounteous goodness, and thank you.
And they help themselves to a little bit of the stuff you make, and they have a companionable-ish time, and then they post up as guards when it's time for you to go to sleep, and you can hear them out there during the night.
I don't has a clock, but all's well.
So they, pass the hours. And then dawn comes, and they give you instructions on where to go. And basically, you're going to bypass the town of Oakhurst, turning away from it, and instead follow an old road. The old road passes to the east of a narrow ravine. At the road's closest approach to the cleft, several broken pillars jut from the earth where the ravine widens. 2 of the pillars stand straight, but most lean atop sloped earth. Others are broken, and several have apparently fallen into the dark depths below. A few similar pillars are visible on the opposite side of the ravine. A sturdy, knotted rope is tied to one of the leaning pillars on this side of the ravine, and the length of it is tossed down into the darkness below. Looking down, you see it'll be about a 30-foot descent to a ledge, and then stairs are carved into the ledge, leading down and away towards where the citadel is supposed to be. But between the light outside and the darkness of the cave, Your eyes can't quite make out that shadowy expanse until you're down and into it. And speaking of shadowy expanses, things are going to go dark and then light in just a moment. And your characters are going to appear. And can everyone see?
Yep.
Awesome. And we are going to remove all turns from the turn order. We are going to read a thing. A sandy ledge overlooks a subterranean gulf of darkness to the west. The ledge is wide but rough. Sand, rocky debris, and the bones of small animals cover it. A rough-hewn stairwell zigs and zags down the side of the ledge, descending into darkness. Just on the ledge, small fire pit, the ashes in long cold. But bits of debris inside indicate that hunters, using crude weapons, must have stopped here either on the way down or the way up and made sort of a base camp. Now, I'm going to ask everyone to please click on their token, and then please click on the initiative word on their character sheet, and this time it will be for combat.
Gotta love that cleric initiative.
Clerics
Beautiful.
are though consistency there.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to turn it into turn order. And we're going to talk about some things that you see. So as you descend, as you make your way forward, several scraggly looking plants dot the landscape. 4 of those scraggly looking plants begin to move, but not in a breeze. No, that's not at all what happens. Instead, they begin to move, forming into small shapes. They thrash, and you can sense an evil about them. I'm not sure any of you have encountered twig blights in your adventures to this point. If you have, feel free to call it out. But they look a bit like that. 4 of them immediately next to you all. 4 more can be seen starting to move further down on the ledges. And now the DM has to stall for a second as he frantically clicks buttons. Have any of you happened to have experienced a twig blight in the past? You get to make up the answer, by the way. You can say yes or no. It's all up to you.
Marshmallow sticks with legs.
Marshmallow sticks with legs.
Seems like a thing I might have encountered.
Okay,
I wouldn't say so.
fair enough.
I wouldn't either.
Neither.
All right. So, Aiden, you have experienced things like this before, it seems. Twig blights are elementals, spirits of evil that inhabit small plants and cause mischief. They're not dangerous except in large numbers or to small children, but they should be exterminated on sight. So, they cannot be reasoned with, they cannot be spoken with, you must destroy. However, 3 of them go first. The first begins trundling its way straight up the stairs towards you. The next is actually very close and will take a swing at Aiden. Aiden, claws strike out towards you.
Nope.
A 10 will definitely not hit your armor class. Another twig blight begins marching along. And Gillian, how you doing?
I'm doing fairly well.
Excellent.
As I see these walking marshmallow sticks,
Mhm.
I think like any other marshmallow stick, it's time to put it in a fire. So, Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast, indeed. Hang on, which one are you shooting at? You're gonna hit
I'll
it.
be going this guy.
All right. So
Right
since
off the ledge.
since I can't see what you're normally doing, 2 ways to indicate what you're going to attack. Click and hold, and that'll put a little circle on it. Or if you click the icon that looks like a power button or a circle with a comb in it, that's the ruler, and with that you can use your arrow to point at things. Either way, that shows me where you want to go. All right, and that also does measure for you and tell you how far. Now, a 24 is a heck of a shot. 9 points of damage, destroys this twig blade. You send bits of refuse scattering out and falling into the darkness below. Gillian,
Toasted.
we also have a special thing that we do in these events, and as the first person in the party to take initiative in combat, you get to answer a very important question. You get to decide how long has this party been together? How long have the 4 of you been traveling together? And there is no wrong answer.
4 months and 20 days.
4 months and 20 days. He is
Yes,
a precise
420.
person. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Well done. Gillian, having blasted a twig blade, having landed the 420, any additional movements or bonus actions?
I'll move just a little closer.
Okay.
There, and that's it.
You got it. And that is going to bring us to Brant. Now, Brant, I got a couple of options available to you. There is a twig blight right next to you, so you could attack that. If you use a melee attack, which would be something hand-to-hand, you would be rolling normally. If you happen to use something that's normally long distance, like a firebolt or a crossbow, you'd be at disadvantage because it's too close to use that effect.
Okay.
So if you look at your attacks, is there one that calls out to you, or is there a spell that you would like to use?
Like this middle box on my core sheet.
Yep, you got
Yep.
middle box that says
Attacks,
attacks.
spell casting.
Yep.
So Firebolt and Ray of Frost are your cantrips. Those endlessly, but those are ranged attacks. So if you attack with one of those, you'll have disadvantage. Magic Missile and Sleep are spells, so won't have disadvantage on those, but you might not want to use them yet because you only get a couple spell slots per day. And your Quarterstaff, you are not as good with that, but that is your melee attack option.
Sure.
Right. Even though it has disadvantage, the fire worked really well for Gillian, and I've got +5, so I think I'm going to use Firebolt.
You got it. So go ahead and click on the word Firebolt. All right. So you rolled a 12 and an 11. We take the lower of the two because you do have disadvantage. And unfortunately, an 11 will miss. The Firebolt goes wide. It's just too close, too in your face at the moment. So you could choose to move right now. However, moving out of range of an attacking creature invokes an attack of opportunity. That's probably not a great idea right now. You do not have any bonus actions you can use, so it's pretty much a sit-tight style situation for you right now. If you decide you would like to run away and risk being attacked, you may certainly do so, but I would advise against it.
I'll hang tight.
All right. So now, being the second person coming up in initiative, you also get a question. Your question is, what is it that keeps the party together?
Well, it's been 4 months, and we share a goal.
Mhm.
And because of that, we have a small to medium amount of trust for each other. That we're at least in it together until we meet our objective, and then it's who knows what.
Sounds good. A business arrangement, or at least an arrangement of convenience, it seems. So, Brant, as your turn comes to a close, we've got some twig blights marching their way on up. And we got one to the north, and that one to the north is going to take a swing at Vaz. Vaz, Twigblight is going to attack. Twigblight rolls a 9. To know whether or not it hits you, compare the 9 it rolled to your armor class. Your armor class, I believe, is an 18. So it was not even close. Aiden, however, what would you like to do?
I would like to swing my longsword at the twig blight right next to me.
You certainly may. 22 is a hit. Damage. That is going to completely obliterate a twig blight. It is no more. And as the third person in the initiative, I get to ask you, what is the most contentious thing? What do you guys argue about within the party?
Ooh, good question. I got this question the last time too.
The order is fixed, but I don't know which one you're gonna roll initiative.
Yeah.
Most contentious.
Is contentious. I think we disagree over music.
Music. All right. So it is a musical disagreement. Aiden, any additional movement?
Yes, I would like to start moving down the stairs.
Alrighty. And as you descend the stairs, you put yourself in the way of the twig blights coming up, and we turn over to Vaz. Vaz, there is a twig blight right next to you. There's a twig blight a little distance away. If you would like to attack, you certainly may. If you'd like to do something else, let me know.
Attack, do Sacred Flame.
Sure, we can make a twig blight dance. Go ahead and click on the Sacred Flame. So, this will force the twig blight to make a dexterity saving throw. It is going to try. It is going to succeed. It nimbly jitters out of the way of the beam of light that comes down on it. Now, you can shift around a little bit if you choose. You can move in this direction. Any spot that does not take you out of reach of the twig blight is safe for you to move. But you may not want to right now. Right. And I do need to ask you your question, and your question is, if the party was stranded on a desert island, what book would you wish to have with you?
Just Vaz or the party as a whole?
If the whole party was stranded on a desert island, what book would Vaz wish to have with her?
Okay.
Either how to survive on a desert island or how to build a raft.
An excellent answer. So pragmatic indeed. Vaz, this is going to bring up some twig blights. They're going to start rushing up the stairs, getting in each other's way. One is going to move up, coming alongside, taking a swing at Vaz. 15 is going to miss Vaz. Or surge up the stairs. And one is going to take a swing at Aiden. Miss. My twig blights are not performing well today. Gillian, what would you like to do?
Kind of seeing that my good friend Vaz is being double teamed by two marshmallow sticks, I'll shoot at the one on her left.
You got it. Let's see a shot.
So
12,
There we go, 12.
unfortunately going to miss. Needed just a hair more. Gillian, anything else?
I'll stay where I am.
All right. Brant, it has come round to you. You are no longer being threatened up in your face, so much easier to cast those firebolts about. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to do that at the one that's right there.
Sure can. Unfortunately, the 7 not going to land either.
Exactly. Dang it. Okay.
And that has got... Yep, that's got the right roll, just a 2, unfortunately. Brant, you can move about if you choose, but I don't know that there's anywhere more advantageous for you to be right now.
I agree. I'll hang out here. Good luck, Vaz.
Good luck, Vaz, indeed, as a Twig Blight attacks. Vaz. Oh, I think a 19 is going to hit. So, if an attack meets or beats your armor class, it hits you. In this case, the Twig Blight's claws find the gaps in your armor and scratch away at you, doing 4 points of piercing damage. To apply that damage, if you click on your token, you'll see the green circle come up with your hit points in it. I think it's the green one. Let me double check. Yep, green one with hit points. If you click in that circle and type -4 and hit enter, it'll take what you have, subtract the 4 from it, and there you go. You can also do the same thing on your character sheet in the hit points box, taking it down by 4.
I only have 7.
Level
Yeah,
1.
You're a caster. You're squishy.
Yep. Certain people are more or less squishy, and I think everybody can see the little hit point indicators under the tokens.
Yep.
So 7 out of 11, 7 out of 7, 11 out of 11, and 12 out of 12. And speaking of
We're
12
all
out of
squishy.
12, Aiden, what are you doing? Long
14
sorting away. 14 will hit. 10 points of damage will destroy a Twig Blight.
And
Another
I'll
one
shift forward.
falls. And Aiden rushes forward. Look at that heroic visage. Vaz, it's back up to you. Whoop, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Everything good?
Vaz, no!
Try reconnecting if something's not working.
Come on, Discord, you were doing so well.
No.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yay! All right.
Sorry.
Not a problem. It would not be a night of D&D without many technical issues. Vaz, you have 2 Twig Blights assaulting you from the north. One has been evading everyone's attacks. The other one, nobody's tried to hit yet. What are you doing?
I think it says that I have a hand axe.
It
In
may
my
very
thing?
well. Let me look and see. Vaz.
Everything got wrong.
You have so the thing you would probably want to be attacking with hand to hand would be your mace, which is a big, spiky-headed whomping stick. So if you click on mace, that is your hand-to-hand attack.
Do you see the attack box in the middle of the front page? It says attack spell casting. It's just below your hit points.
So looking at the character sheet, looking at the core tab, if you go from where it says current hit points to temporary hit points down a little further, you see Cure Wounds, Sacred Flame, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Mace. Mace is your swing a heavy stick at him.
Of this. Oh, there we go. Found it. Yep, got
Yep.
it.
Boy, you sure did. 16 is a solid hit. 6 points of bludgeoning damage
Woo!
will destroy. And you're just like... bringing it down.
I got tired of it poking me.
It is a troublesome thing. Now, Vaz, only one to the north remains, but I think you're out of actions at the moment. So, that's going to bring us to our Twig Blights, one of which is going to try and scratch up Aiden. Pair of 8s is not going to do. One to the north is going to try and scratch up Vaz. Vaz, another 19 for 4. Please subtract 4 more hit points, as these Twig Blights seem to have figured out how to get inside your arm. Down to the south, a twig blight frantically stretches out but can't quite reach Aiden. And Gillian, what are you up to?
Kind of seeing that my friend Voz is he's in a bit of a peril. I'll move a little to the right here, just so I'm not looking straight at her.
Sure.
And then I'll make a little middle finger and point it towards the twig blight to our north and shoot another Eldritch Blast. And that's a natural 20, so.
That is a natural 20. So, you got it. On rolling a natural 20, that's called a critical hit. It does always hit its target and generally will do double damage. And in this case, that is an excessive amount of damage to a bundle of twigs. And it is destroyed. On the opposite side of a natural 20 is the natural 1, which is what's called a critical failure. Nothing horrible happens, but you always miss. So avoid those if possible. Gillian, anything else?
Get the fuck away from Voz. And that's all I do.
All right. That's going to... Yep. That's going to bring us to... Sorry, somebody saying something?
Nothing at all.
Okay. So, by the way, on the Discord thing, if you want to talk, just start talking. Because I can hear you, we can all hear each other, and then I know to shut up. But if you do kind of like, oh, can I? It doesn't always make it through. Don't worry. You're not going to be rude to me. I talk over people all the time. If you want to talk more than me, just talk louder. It's fine. Also, I get mixed reviews on this one. I usually say kind of what happens when damage happens. If you prefer to say what happens during your attacks, just say what you do. So if you want to be the one to be like, yeah, I stick that mace inside that twig and twist it like a blender, watching the shreds of it shoot out on the other side like a Cuisinart, go for it. But at the moment, Brant, you are at the top ledge. If you move a little bit south, you can look down. There's about a 15-foot drop and a nice tempting twig blight target down below.
Okay, so how far can my spells range?
Sure. So if you look at your spells and actually just go ahead and click your spell. That's the fastest way to do it. And you'll see right there it says 120 feet in the middle of the description there. So that is the range of your spell. So you can shoot up to 120 feet with that particular firebolt. The other place you can see that information is on the spells tab. If you look at a spell and to the right of it, there's a little information icon. I think it looks like a little eye in a circle. If you hit that, it'll open up and give you that information as well. But yes, that firebolt can shoot forever far. They are only about 15 feet away. You could go 10 times that amount.
Okay. Did you say I have to move, though, to the edge of the cliff?
You would need to move up a little bit, because otherwise you'd be shooting out into space. And so to move your characters, if you click and drag your token, that'll move it. You got it? And if you want to be fancy when you're doing that, you can click and hold, start to drag, and then right-click without letting go of the left click, and it'll start leaving little yellow indicators behind that measure your distance and show you where you're going. And then it shows you how it moves. You don't need to do that, it's just fancy.
That's good.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
That one's not important.
That one's not important.
I literally just figured that out like a week or two ago, and I've been playing on Roll20 for like a couple of years now.
There's always something more to learn. Man. But Brant, which of the twig blights, if a twig blight, would you like to shoot? Or would you like to shoot Aiden, which would be funny for me?
Do it!
Full health, correct?
I am.
I'm gonna let you take care of the one right next to you and aim for the one in the middle, I guess.
Sounds good. Go ahead and give me a attack roll with that firebolt.
Back to it. Give me a second.
Sure. Unfortunately, the 9's just not going to do. these twig blights are difficult to track. Brant, any additional movement for you? You can move up to 30 feet. You've moved 5 so far.
Am I in the way if somebody else wanted to go down the stairs?
You can pass through friendlies, so you can pass through each other. You
Okay.
can't end in the same spot, and you cannot pass through an enemy unless you're special.
I'll just stay here then. People can go around me.
Sounds good. That's going to bring up one of the twig blights, which comes up and lines up. And then Aiden, what are you doing?
I will do the Aiden special and swing my longsword.
You do the Aiden shuffle, sling the long effective. One more twig blight down. Aiden, what you doing now?
I will actually stay there because then they have to come at me one at a time.
Well played. Vaz,
Yes.
you're looking a little hurt there, Vaz. So, let's take a moment to talk about healing. In combat, you would need to use magic to heal. Good news, you are a cleric, so you do have that ability. The spell is called Cure Wounds or Healing Word. Cure Wounds, you must be able to touch the person that you're going to heal, and it takes an action, and then it heals them for 1d8 plus 3 healing. Healing Word, you can yell at someone across the room. You don't need to touch them, but it only heals them for 1d4 plus 3. So it's about half as effective. You have a limited number of spells. You can see how many spells you have by clicking your Spells tab. And I believe you will be able to cast 3 first-level spells?
Just 2, I believe.
2 first-level spells. So you could cast Cure Wounds twice, and then you would need to have a long rest before you cast it again. Same thing with your Bless, your Guiding Bolt, your Sanctuary, and your Shield of Faith.
The other option, since you are relatively safe now, since they're not likely to get past me, is that you can wait until we deal with these, and then if we want, we could take a short rest.
Mm-hmm.
In which case you can spend hit dice to heal up some.
Correct. So if you don't think you're going to be taking damage right now, you could step up to the edge of the cliff. You could Sacred Flame down at the twig blights from below from relative safety.
I think I'm gonna step up to the edge of the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And you said I could shoot the twig lights?
You can use your you could use your crossbow. You could use your Sacred Flame. Either of those are ranged, and they cannot reach you from there.
Okay, then I would like to use my crossbow.
Certainly may.
To hit it.
Please click it to fire.
1 second, please.
Sure.
Light crossbow.
That is not your weapon. That's practice shot.
Ah.
Vaz, anything else for you?
Because if Jillian needs to go down, he can go down through us, right?
Correct.
All right, then. I think I'm done.
All right. That's going to bring up our Twig Blight, who bravely marches forward. Aiden, Twig Blight. Just can't get you. Gillian, what would you like to do?
Vaz, it's Gillian, not Jillian. Come on, it's been years.
You look like a Jillian.
Fine. Well, I'll go ahead and start walking off, towards the edge of the cliff, and I'll shoot an Eldritch Blast right at the guy at the back here.
Sure. Go ahead and take a shot.
Yeah.
No.
Not one.
So you thought you could be all casual and just kind of lean out and fire down. But then as soon as you started leaning out, you looked down, and I think maybe you have a little tiny fear of heights that you don't try and let on. You didn't lean out nearly as far as you thought, and you shot the steps right in front of you. Gillian, anything else?
Yeah, kind of seeing that I'm right next to the edge. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll walk a little closer to where the steps are a little higher up.
Just
And that's
a
it.
smidge.
Just a smidge.
And as we learn a little bit about Gillian, Brant, what would you like to do?
All right, so it's failed me multiple times, but I am nothing if not determined. I'm going to target this one over here with that firebolt.
Let's see it. You know, it didn't fail you that time. And
That's funny.
something about twig blights. As you apply true fire, not this eldritch nonsense that the warlock's using, you bring fire, and it goes boom. As twig blights are very allergic to fire, and just disintegrate.
I suppose it caught the other one on fire too, did it?
You know, I don't think you were going for a trick shot. And there are some spells that do have splash damage like that, but Firebolt is not one of them. I believe you might have one on your sheet called Burning Hands, which does shoot out a sheet of flame in a cone. But you're only going to have about 2 of those this session, so save them for a special occasion. Brant, anything else?
She does not have Burning Hands, actually. She has Magic Missile.
Okay, I didn't see it anywhere.
What?
No, you don't have it. Unless Casey wants to decree now that you do have it.
Why don't you have Burning Hands? Hang on. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Hang on, we'll fix it.
And suddenly you seem to know Burning Hands.
And suddenly you know Burning Hands.
Right, fire is my element.
What did I do?
Brant is evolving.
I'll figure out what I did wrong. I was pretty sure I gave you Burning Hands because I really meant to. But nah. Aiden, 1 twig blight remains.
Surprising everyone, I will take a swing with my longsword.
You certainly surprised the twig blight. The twig blight crumbles. Now, that leaves your path clear. As you continue to descend, now taking care and poking at any of the brushes and brambles that you see going by, a fortress emerges from the darkness, the subterranean citadel. Impressive, but long forgotten. Lightless windows, cracked crenellations, and leaning towers are indications of its neglect. All is quiet, though a cold breeze blows up from below, bringing with it the scent of dust and a faint trace of rot. The narrow stairs empty into a small courtyard, apparently the top of what was once a crenellated battlement. The buried citadel has sunk so far into the earth that the battlement, once the top of the castle, is now level with the surrounding floor. That floor stretches away to the north and south, composed of layers of treacherous, crumbled masonry, broken rocks, and bits of earth. It must reach down to a depth far below the ground, and traversing it would be very dangerous. To the west looms the surviving structure of what must be the Sunless Citadel. A tower stands on the west side of the courtyard, and its doorway is open to you. So, I'm going to gather you folks up. We're going to teleport.
Good.
Whoop. And we're going to drop you off. Now, you're going to see a big map, and a lot of it is black. And you want to be looking in the lower right-hand corner.
I see it.
Yep, found it.
Alrighty. Cool. So, the description given to you by Tiddles and Geppetto is to come down to this landing, proceed through a round room. There'll be 2 doors, one to the left, one to the right. The one to the left doesn't go anywhere. The one to the right continues on to where the kobolds are. Down a short hallway, on the right-hand side, the first door is where the goblins are being held. He couldn't tell you where the kobolds would be or what they might be up to, but that's the right direction. If you were to make it through the kobold area, there's a door to the north that leads to where the goblins are, and beyond that, the hobgoblins. They gave you a password so that the goblins would know you're on their side. That password is Bree-Yark.
Rearc?
Bree-Yark.
Brearc. Okay.
Are they
And
going to take a short rest so that Vaz could get some life?
sure can. Actually, we're going to talk about that right now. So, the way a short rest works is you can take an hour, and you can spend a hit die. When you spend a hit die, you roll your hit die, and get that amount of hit points back, plus your constitution. So, if you would like to do so, you certainly may, with the caution point that if you're only down by a little bit, you may want to save it, because you're only going to be able to take your short rest once throughout this adventure. You could take it at any time between fights, but basically you've just got that one hit die to spend. I would recommend spending it on yours, because you did take a good chunk of damage there. So on the character sheet, in the middle towards the top, you should see the word hit die. Just hit that little button. Or hit the word hit die. And unfortunately, you rolled a 1, so you will only recover 4 hit points.
Oh, lucky me, eh?
Hey,
A lot better than you were.
Yes, that is very
Yeah.
true.
that is very true.
Point of clarification: we only have 1 hit die to spend, but the warlock gets another benefit from getting a short rest.
So the warlock will basically be able to take 1 short rest throughout the adventure.
Okay.
Slightly
ask
modified
what,
rules due to the time crunch and that we're going for a single session. Um,
Got it.
So, the courtyard that you have entered, you guys can see yourselves within it. The door to the west opens up to a circular area. The circular area is cobbled with cracked granite, upon which That's not how English works, and that's not how reading works. Let me try that again. So, the circular area is cobbled with cracked granite, upon which sprawl the bodies of 4 goblins, apparently slain in combat. One corpse stands with its back against the western wall, the spear that killed it still skewering it and holding it upright. 3 wooden doors lead out of the area, the one you're just coming in through, and 2, one to the left, one to the right. A hollow tower of loose masonry reaches 30 feet into the air above you, but the intervening floors and stairs gone, a couple of crumbled ledges. To the south, you can see several chinks have broken away, and a dark room lies undisturbed for potentially centuries. Your instructions are: go this way, save the goblins. But you're adventurers. You can do whatever you want.
Door number 1, though. Gillian would probably try and go and take a quick peek.
I mean, sure. So, spots that you can look at. We've got a little bit of crumbled masonry right here. We've got a door over here, and a door over here, and Gillian's heading towards door number 1. So, Gillian, when you say quick peek, that sounds like something you might be trying to do stealthily.
Yeah.
Would you please roll me a stealth check?
Yeah, I got it. That's a 14.
A 14 is a pretty good stealth. So, you crack the door open, it only makes a teensy bit of noise. And beyond, you see the masonry walls of this 20-foot wide hall are in poor repair. The far end has collapsed, filling the southern section with rubble. The western wall is in much better shape than the other walls you've seen, and it holds a stone door with a rearing dragon carved in relief on it. The door has a single keyhole situated in the rearing dragon's open mouth.
Do I recognize the dragon to be Tiamat?
This is a single-headed dragon. Tiamat would be a 5-headed dragon.
Okay.
Give me a nature or arcana check, please.
Yeah, let's do Arcana. That's better. That's a 9.
You're not familiar enough with the dragon's body styles to identify this, and it is more of a stylized dragon than an accurate depiction. So it could be any type of dragon.
Hey, Brant, would you wanna come and look at this?
I sure do. Do I also roll stealth?
So if you'd like to sneak up, please roll stealth.
Oh, but he just looked in there and there was nothing threatening us, right?
Well, he looked in there, but he was being sneaky about it.
Who knows?
All
So
right. I'll go
if
ahead
you'd
and-
like to roll stealth, you may. If not, don't worry about it. What could go wrong?
It doesn't hurt. I might as well be stealthy.
Might as well. You don't even have to open the door. He left it open for you. So you see the same rearing dragon, and if you wish, you may make an Arcana, a nature, to try and identify it.
Anna is better for me.
So this does appear to be one of the chromatic dragons. You would think it's stylized to be a red dragon. You're not 100% on it, but you would say probably a red dragon. And you know that the chromatic dragons, the red, the blue, the white, the green, they are the evil
black
dragons. We're going to leave the black dragon out of it. Yes, the fifth color of the dragons is the black dragon. They are known as the evil dragons. The good dragons, the metallic dragons, the gold, the silver, the copper, the
Brass.
Bronze and the brass.
They did a lot of B ones on them before we. Are the good aligned dragons. There's also other sorts of dragons that fall in the spectrum. Things like the gem dragons, pseudo dragons, wyverns, drakes, considered lesser dragons. This seems to be one of the evil dragons.
Okay. So I have a little backstory I've come up with, which involves a dragon destroying my village and killing my family. So I want to go investigate this and see if I can get some revenge. That's my whole reason for the quest.
You certainly may. So go ahead and stride or sneak into that room as you choose. The door with the dragon on it is right over here. So that's the one with the dragon on it.
I'm just going to look at the door, not through the door.
Sure. So you step up to the door. You see that picture of the rearing dragon. This wall seems much more intact. And the door has that big single keyhole on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, as far as I know, well, wait, it says on our character sheet what items we have. Do I have a key? Does anyone have a key?
So no one would have the key to this particular door.
Okay.
I don't know that any of you have lockpicks either.
I'm
Which would be-
proficient with thieves' tools.
Do you have thieves' tools?
Ooh.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
then you
Christian
do.
background, bro.
There you go. So, you are fairly aware of each other's skills and abilities, so it may not surprise anyone when, the little leather pouch comes out, it gets unrolled, you're like, this looks like a number 3 with the wiggly bit. If you wish to attempt to unlock the door, you certainly may. Do you wish to make that attempt?
I'll see. Is it trapped first?
So the way I play it, you're always looking for traps. You don't need to announce that
Perfect.
one. It's just a matter of trying or not.
I'll kind of seeing that Brant is a bit curious about this, and maybe even knowing a little bit of why. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
But I'll tell everybody to take a step back, please, just in case.
All right. So as you say, just
I
take a
moved
little step
you.
back here.
My bad.
And you crouch down. You start using your thieves. May I have you click the thieves tools and choose dexterity as the skill?
Got it.
And you're like, tinker, 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 tinker. And this is just beyond you. You can't even find where in the lock you should be grabbing. You suspect magic is involved. And at that very moment, if I could ask everyone to please click on their tokens, open up their character sheets, and hit the initiative button.
I knew it. This ain't a normal luck. Oh, fuck.
In the rubble, away to the south, a rat has been disturbed.
Oh, it's a rat.
Now, you're like, it's just a rat. Until the rest of it clambers out, and you realize that this rat is easily 3 foot long, which puts it on par with our gnomish companion. But, Brant, being the first to react, what do you do?
Ooh. I'm going to try and put it to sleep. Can I do that?
You certainly could.
Wait, cast at what level? 1, I assume, right?
Level 1, correct.
Yes.
27 hit points of creatures. That is a
Man.
heck of a sleep spell.
Okay.
5d8? Yup. So the rat immediately passes out. And you suspect, based on the snoring, that several other rats in that pile also nodded off. Unfortunately, so did Gillian.
Oh no!
So you cast your spell, the rats are like all snoring in there, and then Gillian's like, ugh, and just goes over backwards. A quick shake, and Gillian will wake back up. No harm, no foul.
Okay.
But you do have a pile of sleeping rats to the south at this point. I'm going to indicate that with my little sleepy icon. Where's my sleepy icon? You guys go ahead and take a little nap there. So there's a good 5 or 6 of them in that pile at the moment. What are you doing with your sleeping rats? You know they'll stay asleep until somebody wakes them up.
Still my turn.
Well, it's still your turn. You may move or take a bonus action.
I don't suppose we can just leave the fight and leave them asleep, can we?
You certainly
could.
may. Absolutely could.
Okay, party, what do you think? Is this fight worth it?
What are the chances one of them stole the key?
I feel like this fight is worth it if we're planning on doing something with this door. If we want to just go back through and go to the other door up north, then we can just shut the door behind us and not worry about it.
Well, the Red Dragon is my whole reason for this quest. I'm determined to destroy it, but I think we need the apple in order to do that. I'm not the strongest of fighters myself, so we could go get the apple and then come back on our way, perhaps.
That seems very reasonable.
Sounds like a fair idea.
Agree.
Maybe we'll find the key on our journeys, too. We don't know that these rats have it.
Also true.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're planning to come back into this room, though,
Yes.
at some point.
Yeah.
So in that case, it seems to me like it would be a good idea to kill the rats while they're asleep.
That's true.
Okay. So you are 4 capable individuals. These are 5 sleeping rats. They don't really have a prayer. So you do it mercifully, or perhaps not. We're not going to ask. We're just going to let it go.
Okay.
But the rats are dispatched in short order. Well done. The room is yours. You have Rat Tattooey, and we're out of turn order. Now what you do?
I covered the eyes of my little mouse pet, apparently. I looked at my character sheet. I have a pet mouse, so
You do have a pet mouse.
I do.
Now that could be a living mouse. That could be a stuffed mouse. That's all up to you. These are suggestions.
The stuffed mouse is somehow worse.
Yeah. Hard agree.
Yeah, so it's alive. It's scurrying around.
Okay. Fair enough. So, the room is now yours. Dragon door remains unassailable at the moment. No keys found in amongst the rubble or amongst the rats.
I still have a spell slot remaining.
Sure do.
I don't know how to read the character sheet. It says slots remaining 0.
You've only cast one sleep spell, so you do have.
So it should be at 1. So I changed it there for you.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. So, where are you headed now?
Up north.
Yes.
Goblin orders.
So, go ahead and move yourselves. You make your way to the northwest door. You listen. You do not hear any sounds from the other side. You know there should be a short hallway through there. Who's going to be the first to open/pass through the door?
That depends. Do we want the person we want hit in front, or are we trying to be stealthy? Because I'm the person, I want to stand between you guys and people fighting us, but I am not stealthy.
We could go in stealthy while they don't know we're here.
Okay. Then I should be last.
Along with Vaz over there. The armor clinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Not exactly the quietest one.
Doesn't seem that
Neither
way.
of us are.
So Gillian and Brant have moved to the front. Who?
Hello?
Oh, now I can hear you.
There you go.
Okay. My stealth is at 3. Lillian?
I'm at 4.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright. I'll go ahead and slowly open the door and peek and...
May I have a stealth check, please?
That's a 20.
Oh, you're just fine. You even take the time to turn around and be like, could you just... And they, tie up their chainmail a little bit. Clean up for the people behind you. But the hallway ahead is empty and still. You can see 3 doorways, one to the south, one to the north, south, north, and west, east. And from the doorway to the west, you hear faintly the sound of sobbing or crying, sniffles. Just somebody's having a miserable day.
Which door was that from?
That is from the west.
Should we check the other doors?
What happens if we pick a door that's blackness on this map?
I expose what's inside it.
Oh, cool.
So the area that is lit up right now is where the goblin has described to you, so you basically know the layout.
Yeah.
The areas to the other directions are just places you don't know about, because the goblin didn't tell you the whole layout. He's like, all right, you want to go here and here and here, hang a right, and that's where you're at.
And we're like, what's through this door? He's like, no, you want to go here.
Yeah, he tried to draw a map. It wasn't a map. He's a talker, not an artist.
Functional.
I vote we go to the goblins, because there are a lot of other doors. This would take us all night long to try and investigate all these rooms.
We just check out one door out of curiosity.
Take your poison.
Sure. Who's opening what door where?
I don't think the only one with the lockpicking skill is Gillian.
So not all doors are locked.
All right.
As far as we know, we haven't checked yet. If Brant or Aiden or something wants to do it, or even Vaz, go right ahead.
Which door do we want to open?
Voz votes for the north door.
All right, I'll open the north door.
Okay. The north door. Boop, boop. Loading. This ruined chamber stands empty of all but a litter of rocky debris.
Okay.
I close the north door.
Be sated.
Productive.
South or west?
West.
All right.
There's crying, right?
There is.
Yep.
And it's an ugly cry. There's like a
I will slowly open this door.
We'll slowly open that door. And Aiden, could I have a stealth roll from you, please?
Probably not.
You do have advantage from what Gillian has advised you just a short while ago.
Okay, so a straight roll, you're saying?
Heavy armor, huh? Oh.
I did warn everyone.
All right. So this citadel, the castle that you are, started out above ground. It sank hundreds of feet down. As it was doing so, the door frames, they didn't stay true. And as you grab this door and you pull it, it's sagging, and you're just like.
No, I'm totally imagining like you're trying to be stealthy, so you're doing it like super slowly, but that makes it worse because it's like the really creaky one.
Oh.
And it's just like really long and drawn out.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Gillian's face just cringes
Everyone's
in the back.
just like, oh.
Voss looks at you in slight fear and disgust, like, oh my god, why?
So, two things happen. One of which...
Shrug. He warned you guys. I don't know. You know he's not good at this stealth stuff.
We're letting him open the door first.
Why would you leave him to do that? Sitting up from a bedroll is a miserable looking kobold. These creatures, they look like little dragons, but this one looks like somebody beat up a little dragon. It's got snot pouring out of its snout. Its eyes are rimmed red and tear streaked. It just looks like it's having a rough day. However, to the north, a door opens, and 3 kobolds that look a little more put together peer out to see what that commotion was. They look down, they see Aiden, Aiden sees them, and I think we're going to ask for the turn order to open up. So if everyone would please click on their token, click on the initiative, and nobody has stabbed anyone yet. And you do know that kobolds are, I'm going to use the word intelligent, but you know that I mean they can talk, they can reason. So you don't have to kill them, but you might want to. Brant's going to take a little while to think that over. But
Some issues.
That's all right. As we go ahead and bring up the kobolds on the turn order. Beep. 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 Gotta make the sound effects for you. Aiden, having just made the worst noise, you are the first to act. What are you doing?
So, knowing that I'm not much of a talker, but also not wanting to open hostilities against people who have not harmed us yet, I will move up here and ready an attack if they are hostile.
So, your negotiation technique is to run up in their face and get ready to hit them.
I said I'm not good at this.
and
I'm aware of that.
I want it to be 100%
So
clear.
I'm doing the thing I am good at, which is being the person to take hits for the party.
Yeah.
If someone else wants to talk, go ahead. Otherwise, one of them will probably swing at me, and then I'll swing at them, and everyone's happy.
Yeah,
except for them.
They are definitely swinging at you because that was a little in your face. And you're not a short person, so you're towering over them. So as one in the background gets their sling spinning up to speed and is about to launch a stone at you, please make your ready to attack on the fellow just in front. Oh boy. You decimate that kobold. It falls. It is still standing, looking stunned, however, as the sling launches at you. It will get the advantage of the pack tactics for its friend, who will have nothing else to do with this battle. But a 17, I don't think is going to hit. That's going to bring up Vaz. Vaz, what are you doing?
Since we can't exactly make peace or anything anymore, or try to talk them down and out of it, I think I am going to use I'm going to over beside the table.
Okay.
Use my light crossbow.
Certainly at this fellow right here?
The one doing the ugly crying.
The one doing the ugly cry. Fire away. The one doing an ugly cry is apparently too sorrowful to be hit as the crossbow bolt goes stray. Vaz, anything else for you?
This can be done.
All right. So Vaz, being the first person in proper combat, as the other one opted out of combat until reaction, I do get to ask you a question. Vaz,
Great.
What is the most embarrassing thing that the party knows about you? About your character, obviously. Not you. Let's be super clear. Hang on. Hang on here.
To say here.
What's the most embarrassing thing the party of characters knows about your character? I'll add that into the actual text for next time. So what's up, Vaz?
Let's put a bit of backstory to it, as I originally told Gillian about this, and he is not the best at keeping secrets, and told the rest of the group.
Gillian.
I was doing laundry one day, and I guess a crow flew down and stole my underpants and flew it into town.
A good one.
That is a bit. Yes.
The funniest part, it landed on the priest's head.
No, they wouldn't do that to her. So Vaz, yes, that story is known amongst the party. Now, Gillian, you are next up. What are you doing?
Kind of seeing that, I guess, people are heading in and combat is starting. I'm gonna get. Gotta go up until here, and then I'm gonna take a pot shot at the guy over
Certainly may.
to the west. So a little middle finger gun, and Eldritch Blast.
Ka-chow!
And
That
7
is a
damage.
solid hit. And that kobold falls, his story not known to the world.
Remember, the Dark One is always with you. Right, Vaz?
Gillian, what else you got, if anything?
That's all I got for now.
You got it. And Brant. And yes, 20 sides. In the tradition of Captain Reboot adventures in this area, Meepo just fell. Brant. Sorry, just chatting with the Twitch stream there. Brant, what you up to?
Well, first of all, does Gillian have a question to answer?
Oh, that's
Hey.
yes.
Like, why am I
Thank
the only
you.
one with a story?
No, everybody gets a story. Gillian,
Uh,
what is the most important thing you don't know that the party knows about you? So, it's something the party knows about you, but you don't think they know. What is that most important thing?
I say that I'm really good at dice. I'm actually really bad. Like, really bad.
Okay. So they are well aware of this, but they haven't let you in that they know that you know that they know.
I get drunk and I think I roll 20s, but actually it's a 2. You know, it's the double vision.
Fair enough. I'm not sure how a pair of 20s equals a pair of 2s equal a 20 to you, but
Ask Gillian.
there you go. Just take 2 off the top. So now, Brant, thank you for the reminder. What are you up to?
Well, I want to go up near Aiden to attack those kobolds, but he's
Sure.
kind of in the way of the door.
He is a little in the way of the door, but you can move 30 feet, which can get you right up to behind Aiden, so right up in there. And then you can shoot past him at the
Yeah.
kobolds.
Let's do that.
Sure
and
can.
since there's 2 of them, do I have anything that would hit both? I have a Ray of Frost here.
You don't have anything that would hit both that would not also hit me.
Yes. So your burning hands could,
Please
but
do not burning hands.
that would be painful for everyone.
He's
so
full health, isn't he?
yeah, but that's
So
just
bad though.
that's a hurtful thing to do.
Kicked out of the party.
Yeah, unlike Magic the Gathering, hit points are not a resource in D&D. So
What?
Also, you might want to save your last spell slot.
That's
You've
my-
only got the one.
How do I know if it's a
Yeah.
cantrip or a spell?
so if you look at the spell sheet, the cantrips will be towards the top, spells will be down below.
Oh, I have other
So-
things on here that aren't on the core sheet. What
Yeah,
is
so the things on here, the ones that are on the core sheet are just basically the attack ones.
okay?
Here you have also like utility and other things. So your Firebolt and your Ray of Frost, you can do those endlessly. You've only got one for any of the ones down here, which you might want to save for an AoE, Burning Hands, or Sleep, or for Shield, or you might want to cast Mage Armor. Actually, I mean, not right now, but
Okay.
So
Oh,
and then Prestidigitation is just like little tricks, changing color or taste, or make a tiny sparkle or something. And Minor Illusion is kind of just any illusion you think of that can fit in a 5-foot square of an object. Create an illusion.
I'm gonna stick with attacking for now because they
Sure.
seem to be going down pretty easy. Maybe I'll try out Ray of Frost.
certainly may.
Okay, I'm gonna aim at the one that I've got the best on.
14 is a good shot. A 14 will hit. Now you did have to aim around your friend, which gave the kobold a little bit better defense than it normally would have, which is a +2 to its armor class. But even with that +2, you blast it, and the kobold falls frozen solid. Ka-chunk.
The nice thing about Ray of Frost, it does a little bit less damage and has less range than Firebolt. But if you hit, it reduces the target's speed by 10 feet.
Makes it harder for them to get to you. Brant, any other movement or activity for you?
Nope, I'm done.
All right. Brant, I do have a question for you. Brant, what is a secret that you and the party know, but will never share with others outside the party?
Well, as Aiden has shared, we argue about music a lot. And we all think that our own culture's music is the best and we can't stand everyone else's. But one time we got really drunk and we all agreed and started dancing together to some polka-esque music that was being played very poorly on some makeshift instruments, and it was a great drunken revelry that we will never speak of outside of the party.
Fair enough. That is a guilty pleasure in its best and shall not be shared. So, Aiden, it comes back round to you, who started this fight off with such peaceful intentions. Aiden, what would you like to do? Oh,
Nothing, apparently.
You'd like to bait the kobold for a while.
Yep.
That's fine. I do have a question for you. And that is, Someone sort of already answered this one, but I'm gonna ask it again anyway. What is it that the party thinks you're good at, but you're really not?
That is a good question. Let me think here.
And as you think that over, we'll find if that
The party actually thinks that I'm a good liar because I tell all sorts of ridiculous tales, but they're actually all true.
Fair enough.
I'm a terrible liar.
Sounds good. And as your efforts at peace are responded to, the dagger of the kobold strikes at you. 19.
That will hit. And
4
it will
points.
do 1 point of damage to me.
You got it. 4 points of damage dealt. However, our heavily armored fighter does reduce piercing damage by 3, so only takes 1. Stand behind the meat shield, folks. It's what they're good for. Vaz, you, as things are starting to calm down, there's only one enemy left, find yourself standing next to a iron cage, poles sticking up from the ground. Near to you, several of those poles have been bent and broken away. North of you, that table with a selection of brushes, combs, and other devices. A large fire pit north of that. And then a little further north and west, Aiden fighting with a kobold. What are you doing?
Since I pretty much figured that Aiden has the kobold down pat and everything, and I really, as past attacks have shown, I really am not good at that sort of stuff. I will check out the table and see if there's anything we can grab off there that'll help us.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation or perception, your choice. So skill check to the left of where the attacks are. And down a little bit till you find either investigation or perception.
You'll almost certainly want perception.
I'll want perception because I have -1 investigation.
Fair enough.
Not or not really.
So
not too bad.
What you notice is crudely executed symbols and glyphs scribed in bright green dye decorate this large and irregularly shaped crumbling chainer. A large pit in the center shows evidence of a recent fire. The metallic cage in the middle of the south wall contains that big hole, and the wooden bench is draped with green cloth. The objects resting on it appear to be used for care of a large animal. Quick inspection, you're like, no, these brushes are not the type that would be used for fur or hair. It's something, lizard-like, something with scales on it. And there are enough of those out in the world that you could put that together. Given that these are kobolds, you're like, it could be that they were keeping some sort of deranged giant kobold in this cage, or maybe they have a dragon.
Would explain the door with the dragon on it.
would explain the door with the dragon on it. The items on the table are worth a little bit of gold. You could certainly pocket it. They seem nice, but nothing immediately combat helpful.
To what I can carry?
Say it again.
Do I have a certain limit to what I can carry?
You do, but you're not going to reach it with these.
Right,
This
then
is
I'll-
stuff you could just right in the pocket. Bag, sack, backpack.
I'll just bag those then.
Sure. Sounds good. As Vaz does some looting, Gillian, what are you up to?
Kind of seeing that everything is kind of taken under, like, is under control for the most part. I'm gonna start heading down the hall to the west.
Everyone thinks Aiden has this totes under control, huh?
No, I'm going to help him out.
I
Gillian,
appreciate that.
Gillian, as you head down the hall, you can hear away to the north the sounds of industry, hammers banging, wood clanking, saws sawing, because that's what they do, and fire roaring. That noise is probably covering most of the sounds of combat. Gillian,
Okay.
you can see to the north there is light and a fairly large hall. Shadows bouncing around indicate that there's likely something up there.
Okay. And I know that the room over here is the room with the other goblins.
Room where the goblins are, correct.
Okay. Then I'm gonna take the rest of my I'll take my action to move up to the door.
Okay,
And I guess that'll be my turn for now.
sure. Please roll me a stealth check with advantage. You want to do better than a 10. You very
Got
much
it.
want to do better than a 10.
Got it. Okay, what advantage? Well, that's a
Okay.
14.
A 14 is better than a 10. So
Hey.
as you cross, you get ahead just in time that a kobold on patrol does not notice you.
But I know that the kobold is there.
But you know that the kobold was there. He's
Got
not
it.
trying to hide his presence. He's marching. He's, hup, 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 hup. Or
Okay.
whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know what kobolds sound like. I can't do it. So, Gillian, you are safe by the door. And Brant, what are you doing?
We're not like telepathic, right? So the rest of us don't know that kobold is there.
You are not telepathic.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter anyway because I'm gonna try and take care of this one in here.
Sure.
Do I have to move into the room to do that?
No, you can see from there.
Okay.
The kobold will have a +2 to its armor class, but that's better than stepping next to it.
All right.
So you want to get a 14 or better.
Firebolt it again. Ooh.
22 is a lot better than 14. However, that's only a little bit of fiery damage, and the kobold survives for the moment. Brant, anything else for you?
Sorry.
This seems to be a good, helpful spot. I'll stay here.
All right. Aiden, it wasn't your turn yet, so I'll let you roll again.
I did not mean to click that.
That's
Sorry.
all right.
Okay. And now I will click it. That is plan to do.
15 is much better. And with that, the kobold falls.
I'm super amused at the thought of Aiden just this room full of kobolds and everyone else is like, yeah, he's fine, and walks away.
He got it.
Yeah, you got this, right? So inside that room is a lot of mats spread about. It seems as though the kobolds live in here. It does not smell good at all. And looking up, you realize that the door is trapped. There's a bucket over the door waiting for someone to step through it. However, it was disarmed as the kobolds came out. So if you were to wish to trigger that trap, you could just pull on that rope right next to you, but most sane people would not do that.
All right.
We are going to drop out of turn order for the moment. Gillian is gesturing to the others as you cross over, giving you the
Yep.
motion. What are y'all doing?
Slowly approach Gillian.
Can I roll a stealth check to help with this?
Sure can.
Or
So
does it-
you're aware you're going to have to cross this area. And as you do, there's a chance that the kobolds on patrol could see you.
Could I potentially like take a little peek as like just with the corner of my eye, just peek my head and then like motion them when the guy is looking away
Okay.
to come through?
So this is going to be a stealth check with advantage because you're receiving help.
Sure.
Now, some of you are in heavy, which imposes disadvantage to your stealth check. So Brant, you get to roll stealth, and you get the higher of the two rolls. Please roll your stealth. Brant, you are like a ghost on a ninja. You are a... that was a horrible comparison. I'm not sure where I'm going with that one.
A
So
ghost
Brant,
of a ninja? Maybe?
Sure. Shadow of
Being-
a ghost of a ninja.
Being charitable?
Yes.
Gillian gives you a silent fist bump as you come over.
I
Return.
workshop hundreds of these a year. They can't all be winners. Now, Vaz and Aiden, because of your armor, you will be rolling a straight stealth check. You still only need to get better than a 10, but please decide if you wish to risk it.
We'll risk it.
You are in it to win it.
Woo!
Fuck yeah!
All right.
Yes.
For once.
Like the
When I
fog,
get over there.
you stream across. Now, to the north, you can hear the sound of chains. You can hear the basic sound of prisoners. To the south and west, you can hear fire crackling. To the north and west, you can hear the sounds of kobolds. So it sounds as though on almost all sides, up here, over here, down here, there are kobolds. In here is where you believe the goblin prisoners are. Who's going to be the one to open that door? If anyone.
Is it locked?
It does
I-
not appear to be locked.
Oh.
I haven't
Okay.
I haven't opened a door yet, which
Go for it.
maybe for a good thing, but
Sure.
Mm.
So,
what do I need to?
I just need to tell me that you open it. And so as you open it, 4 small humanoids are shackled by thick, rusted chains attached to a large iron spike set in the floor. Several broken weapons and sundered shields lie in one corner. The 4 goblins blink in your direction.
Briark.
Hearing the passphrase, like,
Yeah.
and they hold up their manacled hands, you can tell that these manacles are not in great condition. You could work on picking the locks. You could try and Hercules and pull the spike out of the ground, or you could just break the rusty metal. Picking the locks is very quiet. Pulling the spike out is in the middle. Smashing it with a hammer, kind of loud. What would you like to do?
I'll go up and start lockpicking at least one of them. Probably the guy up here.
So if you can get one, it frees them all. It would get the chain out from the manacle
Got it.
set. They would still have them on their wrists, but they could sneak out at that point.
I would suggest that we lockpick. That at least I try to lockpick it first.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, yeah. Otherwise, I can try and pull it out of the ground.
With dexterity attribute, I'm guessing.
Yes, please.
It's a 13.
That was very close, but
Whew.
not quite enough.
Dang it.
Now, hang on one second, because I think I might have forgotten to mention something to someone. So, Vaz.
Oh no.
Hi. This is actually a good thing. One of your abilities, one of your cantrips, is called Guidance. And what Guidance allows you to do is it allows you to call your god's blessing down upon an action someone might take and give them a D4 bonus. Okay. So,
You about that earlier.
I should have brought that one up earlier. But it's only something that you can do if you know it's going to happen. It doesn't work in combat, so it can't be on an attack, but it does work on skill checks, like this. I probably should have mentioned it to you, but I'm dumb. So, I think your character would have been like, I should probably give him guidance on this. So you invoke the blessing of your god, and you can add a D4 to the 13. A 14 is still not quite enough. It was so close. So
15,
close.
yeah.
But
Dang
not
it.
quite enough. So, having tried your very best, fortunately, too much rust without the key to really grind that rust as you turn it. It just cannot be opened by lockpicking, leaving you pulling the spike.
Aiden walks in. You're taking too long.
Holy monkey!
The keyhole was rusted.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Aiden's just like, "Roar." And the
that
spike
works.
grinds its way up. So, would someone please volunteer to make the stealth check for the party as that grinds its way up?
I mean, I can volunteer to do that, but if Brand wants to go for it, go for it.
I have 3.
You're
I
outside.
think you have 4. It's fine. Just do it.
All right.
There you go.
You are not noticed, and the goblins are now free.
Right.
They check their wrists, they rub their legs, they get ready to run. They look over their weapons and the shields, but they are just ruined. It seems as though they were smashed in front of their very eyes to dishearten them. They pick up what they can, a little chunk of blade here, a little piece of shield there, but they're not equipped in any reasonable fashion.
What are the chances we can sneak all of them back out of here without being noticed?
I feel like we could ask them a couple of questions first, like how many people are still left here.
Oh, this isn't all of them?
Maybe there's some others left.
Okay.
So you begin interviewing the goblins like,
It's just us. We were the only ones who lived to be captured. Several of our brethren fell. Of the kobolds, there's some to the south. They maintain a guard post. And then the Queen way to the west. There's probably 8 to 12 fighters left.
That's to the west?
the Queen.
Queen, thank you.
And
do you know
brushing
why
and stuff?
that one was crying?
Well, kobolds is pansies.
What were they holding here? I saw a big cage in the other room.
Oh, the dragon. We captured the dragon in a raid. We have it as a prisoner. They were trying to arrange for an exchange of us for the dragon, but our leaders are smart. They know not to give up such a valuable hostage.
So, as they explain, it seems that a stalemate had developed where the kobolds were holding several goblins hostage. The goblins were holding this dragon hostage. But now, it seems like you might be freeing up that stalemate.
Should we take our advantage and go? This is what we were sent to do.
It's true. We never checked out that little room
We can go
off of
back.
the circle room. Yeah, maybe it has a key in it.
Maybe.
Wait, what are you looking for a key for?
Well, there's a dragon room here that we're interested in investigating. We don't want to die, so of course, if it has a dragon in it, maybe we want to come back better prepared. We don't know exactly.
Well, I can't say for sure, but the Kobold Queen, she had a key mounted in a dragon's mouth over her throne.
And he makes air quotes.
We're doing.
What's it gonna be then?
Well,
I don't know about.
are you thinking of assaulting the Queen?
Would you help us?
Well, we don't have arms or arms, but you could make a break to the north. Call for a raid. Come back with more.
We dispatched a couple of kobolds on the way here. You could go pick up their weapons if you'd like.
Kobold weapons, what are they using? Slings and daggers? It's not weapons, it's toys.
A lot of smack talk. So, but what they do describe is that away to the north, through a very hotly contested hallway, there are more goblins. And that, right about there, is the front line. That's no man's land. But if the goblins were to make it across to call for a raid and return with troops, that could throw this area into chaos, during which maybe you could make a strike on the queen. But could be dangerous.
Why are there goblins if they're not captives?
So these goblins up here, this is where the goblins.
So
You're-
it's
What?
this room right here is the border between North and South Korea. No man's
Exactly.
land.
Yep.
Okay.
So that right there is where all the fighting happens.
Okay.
So the goblins the kobolds live down here.
Mm.
The goblins live up here. And right there is where they fight back and forth.
Okay.
And since it's, a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hallway, it's pretty easy to plug it up. And nobody wants to be the one in the middle of the room. So the fighting, you get the impression, is mostly stones being thrown one way, stones being thrown back the other way, a couple more stones, and then good fight, close the doors, go back about your business.
Alrighty, so what do you want to do, guys? What's the plan?
You want that door, no, Brant?
Calling for a goblin raid sounds like a fine idea, I guess.
And I'm up for it if you guys are, even though haven't had the best of luck.
Okay. So, the goblins make ready. Gonna move the guys here, even though they're not really here right now. You've scoped out the area. You've heard their report.
hear you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
sorry.
cut out.
You've heard their report, and basically what they're describing is that is the kobold area. 2 rooms of kobolds, 1 room with the queen and her guards, and then to the north and the east, over here, a kobold workshop. But the goblins dismiss those in the workshop as non-combatants. So, not an area you have to worry yourselves about. They kind of do a 1, 2, 3, go. And any preparations or other things you guys would like to do before we kick off really messy combat?
Over here.
Sure.
So, Aislinn, I don't know if you want to spend your 1 remaining spell slot on it, but you do have Mage Armor, which could bump your AC up from a 13 to a 6.
A 16?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would improve your AC by 3, which is pretty good.
See, yeah. I think
Actually, do we have 10 minutes to spend? Because it is a ritual.
Mage armor? I don't think so.
According to this, maybe it was just checked improperly, but according to her character sheet.
That must have been checked improperly because mage armor is not a ritual. Sorry about that.
I don't know what any of that means anyway.
It's just a matter of whether you can use it without spending a spell slot, but that's not an option for that particular spell. So I will curse Roll20 or myself for misclicking things. Probably me.
It also says that mage armor is concentration. So,
it is definitely not
true.
that either. So.
Question. What does Shield of Faith?
Sure. Shield of Faith provides a +2 to your armor class. So whatever your armor class is, add 2 to that, and that's what a Shield of Faith.
All right. Do you want us to roll for initiative now?
You may go ahead and roll for initiative. The things aren't going to quite kick off until we recover here. If anyone needs a 3 to 5 minute break, refill drinks, use the restroom, etc., please feel free to rush about and do so.
Real life?
Real life, yeah.
That'd be great.
You got it. So take your 3 to 5 minutes, and when we come back, we will start a messy combat.
Sounds good.
Breaking things.
On some of those.
It's okay. Some of those are on your team.
All right, back.
Welcome back. There will be chaos.
Brant is back.
Probably.
Yay!
Yay.
Woo!
Woohoo!
All
Maybe
right.
that's everyone then?
Is that everyone?
Thomas there
I
or no?
thought so. Yeah, I'm here.
Jeez, that's a lot of initiative. Oof.
Yep.
Oof.
So, as we start to wind back up, one thing that's a little handy is if you want to see who's going next or whose turn it is, if you hover over the turn order icon for like Brant, for example, or one of the goblins, it'll put a yellow box around that person on the map. So if you're trying to see which one it is that we're working with, that's who is going to be coming up. And the other thing is, right now, nothing's happening. The guards are just patrolling. The goblins are getting ready to run. So if you don't want to do anything, if you just want to stay hidden for a bit, that is an option for you. But if you do that, other people might start reacting. Based on your recognizance, you know that there are kobolds down here in this room. You've been told there are some kobolds hanging out here, but the only door through is up here. And you know there are some guards and some kobolds on patrol. The goblins are up north. Once they hear about the plan, they are expected to come rushing in and cause some chaos. And these four are going to try and make it back to their guard room, re-equip, and then rejoin. So, you
Can
have...
I pass one of the four goblins my dagger, by any chance?
The dagger, they basically have equipped themselves with the equivalent of daggers.
Got it.
Based on what they've found, those shards and bits. But they'd really be much more comfortable with a real scimitar in their hands. So, and a shield, maybe some leather armor. Short bow would be awesome. So, Brant, you are the first to decide what you're doing as things are about to kick off. Are you doing anything to start this fight?
I can. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to hover over them and see who's next. See the goblin that's next.
So the goblin that's next is one of the three up in the north guard room.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So they're gonna just magically know to come help us?
They don't know anything yet.
No, they're not going to act until our goblins break through and talk to them.
All right.
Yep. So I've basically pre-rolled them. And the same token, the kobolds aren't going to be doing anything until the kobolds know what's going to happen. So really, the first thing that's probably going to kick it off is one of you, or down on initiative 15, the first goblin that's going to try and make a break for it. Now, he's going to try and sneak, but he's running across open ground in a guarded hallway, so it probably isn't going to work, but it might.
So
Right.
if you don't want to break out hostilities yet, you could ready an action to make an attack when things go down. So you could say, like, when the fight breaks out, I'll cast Firebolt.
How is that any different than just casting it?
Well, if you don't want to be the target, like making the first move, you would kind of the one drawing the attention. And it might be helpful to let some of their turns go by without them knowing anything's up.
All right. So my thought is there's this room in the south that is secluded. Is it possible to take those three out without the rest of them knowing that the fight has started?
Sure. Definitely possible.
My thought, actually, would be maybe Jillian can just lock the door.
Yeah,
I could try
even
to
better.
do that.
Even better.
Sure.
I could try
So
that, yeah. Sure.
Brant starts brainstorming. It's like, genius. And you guys are like, oh yeah, we could try and secure them in there. Now, what I'm going to need to get this done is a sleight of hands check, and it's going to need to be a 15 or better. And you're not going to be locking the door. You're actually going to be jamming the door using pythons or other means so that it can't be opened.
Guidance. Cast guidance. No.
I mean, that's
Wouldn't make a difference.
All right.
Yeah.
So you start to try and secure the door, and that is going to alert them and kind of kick things off. So,
Oh shit.
so hammer comes out. You start tink, tink,
Gillian.
tink, tink, sprank, and it's kind of that same problem that happened with the other door, except this time it's just the door slowly swinging away from you. The kobolds looking up as that hard grind happens, and then mess happens.
Door maintenance. No. Okay.
So Brant, the jig is up. What would you like to do?
All right. I'm gonna move over behind Gillian.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
you're welcome. I have frost at the one directly in front of me.
Sure can. +2 to his armor class, but that doesn't matter to you. 2 points of damage dealt, and this kobold is slowed. Will move at 10 feet less than normal. Brant, anything else?
I will just move a little bit out of the way in case someone else wants to.
Sure can. Goblin to the north doesn't know what's going on yet. Kobold doesn't know what's going on yet. This one sure does. And this one just got Ray of Frosted. It is going to spin up a sling. It is going to fire that sling at... you know what? No. He's feeling frisky. Nope, that's right. He can't move that far. Good Ray of Frost. Sling Stone coming at you. Gillian. 16.
That hits.
And he tags you for 5 points of bludgeoning damage. The kobold leads off. That kobold doesn't know what's happening yet, nor does that one, nor does the queen. And Aiden, to the north, they don't seem to be alerted yet.
Well, they are now.
They are
speaking,
now.
They,
Okay.
I do pass by this one and move out of its range, so I get an attack of opportunity.
Yes, you do. So attack of opportunity, if you move into and out of the range of an enemy creature, it does get to take a swing at you. This one will take a swing with its... it's not even holding a dagger. It's just going to try and punch you. 9 just doesn't boink off. And then Aiden, you are right up in this kobold's face. What are you doing?
Longsword attack on the queen.
Longsword attack on the queen. Why do anything other than dive in? And this queen is slashed and hard. However, she is still just conscious. Massive blood loss. Horrible wound. But still in it. Aiden, anything else?
That's everything.
All right. That's going to bring up the goblin, which starts its sprint 30 feet. It uses its bonus action to disengage so it doesn't get an attack of opportunity, and then continues dashing well and away. Kobolds now know there's something going on. Come out of the room. Look around, see this crazy person all alone, and huck a sling stone. +2 to your armor class. I don't even think it can hit you. 22?
It can.
20. 6 points of bludgeoning damage. Take 3 away from that, please.
Yep.
Kobold Elite. rushes forward to assist the queen. It will have advantage due to pack tactics. Dagger.
Ah, shit.
Pair of
Fuck
11,
it.
nothing there. Kobold directly next to the queen steps up. Dagger as well. Advantage. 19?
19 will hit.
5 points of piercing. Goblins. See the way this is going. Rush forward. Bonk him on the back of the head. No. Gillian.
All right, I kind of seeing that they're all kind of in a pretty small room. I'll just kind of slowly after Brant shoots up, what was that, something ice. And I kind of walk into the room, and my eyes probably cloud, and I'll cast Arms of Hadar.
Okay, bring that one up, please. I feel like you don't want to go into the room when you do that, but... Nope, self 10-foot radius. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Wow. So
10. DC 13.
DC 13.
Strength save.
Strength saving throw. So, let me tell you a little something about kobolds. When you are doing 10 points of damage to a kobold with huge, flailing, squid-like arms of darkness, it doesn't matter if they save. You bounce these poor things off the wall repeatedly, and they are all very dead.
Bitchin'.
Alright.
Gillian, that was horrifying. What are you doing now?
Walking back.
Swaggering.
That's what they get for not maintaining their doors properly. Kobold standing next to the goblin will try and stab him with a dagger. That will miss. That exchange will go on. Additional kobolds will come sprinting along. They don't care about one another. They just want out of here. Get me my weapons. Good job, Goblin. Did a little
Yeah,
damage. Vaz, what are you up to?
Steady on health and stuff.
I mean, I'm not doing great.
Okay, I'll use I'll move up here closer, and I will do a healing word over on Aiden.
Okay. So you got to get a little bit closer so you can see him around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be able to see him, and I don't think you
So
have
if-
sight on him.
We'll say you do. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
close.
do?
Yeah, so we'll say you ended up right about there. But that's fine.
Alrighty.
And go ahead and roll me that healing word.
Excellent. I am back to full.
That
Thank
is
you
not a bad
very
healing
much.
word at all. And Vaz, that is a healing word is actually a bonus action, so you still have your action remaining. If you would like to do something like shoot your crossbow, you may.
With my crossbow?
You may shoot your crossbow.
Let's take a chance on it.
I
What a
mean,
chance that will be.
eventually it's got to work, right?
Eventually. Oh. Gillian and basically give him a pleading glance, like, please wish me luck on this.
You got this.
And then shoot
straight.
it.
Wow, you
Yeah.
do. That is a
Yes!
critical hit. Well rolled, well hit. And it does sink into the kobold. It's not enough to put the kobold down, but it definitely puts the hurt on him. Vaz, anything else? I think that may be it for you.
For the luck. And then that's the end of my turn.
Goblins
Well
are still
done.
waiting to hear the alert. Goblin Elite stepping up. Aiden. So Kobold Elite stepping up on Aiden. Advantage on the attack. Ooh.
Ooh.
Crits.
Ooh.
8 points. Please take 3 away from that.
Yep. I am glad for that healing. Otherwise, I would be at 1.
All right, that's going to
Healer
bring us to
MVP,
the
man.
last of our goblins. They are rushing up. They're doing what they can. They can't do much, though. They need weapons. Brant.
Okay. I'm gonna let those 3 goblins take care of that one on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll come up nearish to Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Far can I go?
Up to
This square
30
right here.
feet.
That looks like a good square. Let's do that.
Can
And
she
then-
see the queen from that square?
No.
It's pretty well covered. It'd be a hard.
You're in the
it'd be-
way.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
just hoping to get the queen down before she acted, because I have a feeling it's not going to be good.
So, you know what? We'll play to the crowd at the moment. We will say that the queen is on that square, which will give you line of sight. She does have +5 to her armor class if you use something with an armor class, but you do probably have spells that don't use armor class.
Well, I don't know, but I don't have any spell slots. I only have
Yeah,
2.
she's out of spell slots.
Okay. So Firebolt or Ray of Frost, your choice.
Firebolt has the chance to do slightly more damage, so I'll try that one.
Sure do. Oh,
That hits.
that is a really good shot. Unfortunately, 1 point of damage is not quite enough to put her down. She remains.
Close.
Good shot, though. Brant, I think that may be it for you. That's going to bring up our uninformed goblin. One of our kobolds who knows what's going on rushes out, sees the goblins. Kobold. Sling. No. Kobold Elite. Grab the right one, Casey. Bringing it down. Aiden is just getting dog piled on. Advantage.
Oh,
Yikes.
God. Okay. Thank God I'm a human. That feat. I would be long dead if not for heavy armor mass.
It is a lifesaver. Kobolds rush out. Moving to assist their friend, sending slingbolt after slingbolt down at these goblins. Oh, that'll hit. Goblin not looking amazing. And then...
Yes, at the same time, I wouldn't be nearly so overconfident without heavy armor mass.
and then the queen.
Yep.
Miss, come on.
Miss, come on.
The queen looks at you. She joins her thumbs together, fingers spread, and then realizes that too many of her associates are nearby, and therefore reaches out instead and attempts to strike you with a shocking grasp.
Oh. Yep, I'm unconscious.
You're rendered unconscious. Aiden, as you are now unconscious, I do need to ask you for a death saving throw. When unconscious, a player has 3 rolls. If they fail 3, they die. If they succeed on 3, they stabilize and become just unconscious. If they roll a natural 1, they get 2 fails. If they roll a natural 20, they wake up with 1 hit point. He has 1 failure now.
And if you get healed, you get right back up, right?
If you get
Yep.
healed,
And it
you
gets
get
reset.
right back up.
And if you take
Right.
damage, it's an automatic failed death save. If you take damage from a melee attack within 5 feet, it's an auto crit, so it's 2 failed death saves.
That is true. However, the goblins have now been alerted, so goblin forces are on the way. Kobolds rush
Friends,
forward.
I can get you.
Nothing doing. Kobold elites, now with Aiden down, start moving up. Brant. Dagger attack standard 14, Brant.
I increased it to 16.
Good
Awesome.
call.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yep.
More kobolds rush forward. This one, now side by side, has advantage. Brant, a 20
Ooh.
for 6.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, man. So there's nothing I can do about that? I'm at 1 now?
You're
You're
at
at 1
1
hit point.
now. But 1
All
is a
right.
lot better than 0.
Yeah.
The goblins rush forward, rearm, step back, now fire with a short bow at the kobold. That is a dead kobold. Gillian, what are you
All
up
right,
to?
I am gonna step up and I'm gonna shoot one of the guys in front of Brynn.
Sure can.
And Eldritch Blast. Come on. That's
And
an
11
11.
is not quite enough.
Fuck.
Well, thanks for trying.
I tried. Yeah, because I'm out
Goblin
of spell slots.
rushes up and re-equips but cannot see a target. Vaz, it comes around to you. You heard Aiden fall.
I'm gonna. I
Cannot
can
move.
get past.
You cannot move past the enemies, but you can move up. And I would say from right there, you could see Aiden if you needed to.
Okay, and if I remember from last time, if I use the what's it called? Dang
Healing,
it! Cannot
healing
think.
word?
Him from where I am currently standing. Right?
You can use a healing word from where you are standing, and that is a bonus action. You would then have an action which you could use your crossbow to shoot basically anyone in that sweep, including the queen.
Crossbow, or you could do Sacred Flame.
Or Sacred Flame, correct. No, not Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame would be
Nice.
2 spells.
But you can use
One
2
is a
spells
cantrip.
if one's a
Oh,
cantrip.
one's a cantrip. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. You may Sacred Flame too.
6 healing.
But Aiden is
Thank
awake.
And I think skit with my mace. I go with or should I go with the Sacred Flame?
Depends on who you want to target.
It's the guy in front of Brant.
So if you want to hit the guy in front of Brant right there, you could use you could step up and use a mace, because a mace you have to be standing next to him. So you could step up there and use your mace. You could shoot from where you are with your crossbow, or you could use a Sacred Flame, which would force them to make a save rather than you making an attack.
Yep. What's up?
Well, I'd say that standing next to Brant, whether or not you're going to attack with the mace, is not a bad idea, because you can take hits more than Brant can.
Okay. You step up.
Step up, and I'm going to use.
Nice. Okay, let's see.
All right. Dance, kobold, dance. DC 13, dexterity saving throw. It rolls a 9.
Fails.
It takes 7 points of damage and falls under the blinding Sacred Flame. Vaz, that's an action, a bonus action, and movement. I think you may be tapped out. Our goblin friends, good?
Hello?
Yep, sorry, I can hear you now. Say it again.
don't think anyone's talking.
Oh, sorry. I thought. I'm hearing voices again. So
We're just messing with the DM. It's okay.
Kobold Elite looks down at Aiden. Aiden, do you wish to play dead?
I'm canonically terrible at lying, but sure.
That's true.
Okay. Please
Deception.
roll me a deception.
Ooh.
A 14's actually not that bad. Maybe you are good at lying. The kobold moves out of your threatened space. Do you wish to attack?
That would be at disadvantage because I'm prone, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, why not?
All right, go ahead and make the attack.
12.
A 12 is the right number.
Ah,
Ooh.
As the kobold moves to step away, you slash out and take its legs out from under it. The kobold falls and is unable to. But you have given away your clever ruse by killing a kobold instead of continuing to play dead. The other goblins continue to rush down the hallway. There's just a lot of space between there and here. This one steps up, grabs a short bow from its friend, turns and fires at these kobolds moving up. 12 is the magic number. Kobold falls. Brant,
Nice.
there's a kobold next to you. What you doing about it?
Whew. I haven't tried my actual melee attacks yet. I guess I'll do one of those. Okay, hold on. How do I see these?
So you've got what have you got? A quarterstaff?
It says 2 quarterstaff ones.
So one-handed or two-handed? You're going to
Yep.
use two-handed.
Okay.
And you do. 16 hits. 5 clocks this kobold upside the head, but it does not fall. Brant, that would be your action. Moving might be dangerous right now.
Does it get opportunity?
It would
Yep.
get an opportunity if you try and retreat
if you move out of its range, yeah.
Okay then. I'll hope for the best where I am.
All right. That brings up the Goblin Assault team. This one's way back there. Kobolds starting to look a little nervous here. Trying to rush up. Stop these goblins from getting in there. Dagger attack. Goblin's not looking great. Kobold sees Aiden on the ground. Attacks with advantage. Aiden. 20 for
No
3.
damage.
For no damage.
Woo!
Yay.
Soak it. Kobold rushing up, attacking with advantage. Let's see it. Kobold. 1 goblin falls. The queen looks down at Aiden. Looks at her subject that is in just the wrong place. And attempts to shock once more.
All right.
Oh, shit.
3 points of lightning damage.
That's fine. Still up.
Not get reduced, but still up. Aiden, what you doing?
I will stand up,
Aha.
taking half my movement.
Yep.
And I will use Second Wind,
Okay.
which is just 1d10 plus 1, I believe.
Sounds right.
Nice.
Oh,
7 hit points back from the
feeling
fighters have
better
hit
than I
points.
was a moment ago. All right.
And second
and
wind is
attack on the queen.
You got it.
15.
15
Come on.
will hit.
Yeah.
And 12, with the assistance of your friends, is enough. The queen falls. Aiden, You look around quickly. You see behind the throne that she was sitting upon until moments ago, the large statue of a dragon's head rests in its mouth a massive key. The styling of the key, you believe, would work in that door. However, I think you might have more important things at this exact moment to deal with.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I will move up there,
Okay.
and I'll point at Vaz and say, "You're my new favorite." And that's my turn.
All right. Goblins continue to surge forward. It's going to be a bad day for those kobolds. Oh, they're going to get one more round in, maybe. Kobold is going to try and take Brant out of the picture. Brant, dagger coming at you, standard attack. An 18-5. Brant, you are on the border between life and death at the moment. You're not dead yet. Goblins. Goblins are coward. They're going to use short bows. Flag and miss. Gillian.
Right as Brant is falling down to the ground, another Eldritch Blast is just going to be coming right in between them.
Nice hit. Good damage. Fallen kobold.
Awesome.
Seemed to take some small solace in that it felled one of your friends. Go for it.
And I'll move up right next to 8.
Got it. Over there, the kobolds just go back and forth. And Vaz, there is one kobold elite still in it, but beside you, Brant is unconscious. I think you may be out of healing spells at this point, but you could assist your friend by stabilizing. Stabilizing is a medicine check. You need to roll at least a 10. If you succeed, they are not in danger of dying anymore.
I think I still have a slot left. It says
Do you?
slot remaining 1.
Did you reduce it? Well, no, because you've healed me twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
2 heals would have done it.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically reduce your spell slots. You've got to mark them down yourself.
And you said do a medicine check?
Medicine check would stabilize. Yes, please. 10 or better. 8 is not better than 10, though. So Brant remains at risk. Vaz, do you want to stay by Brant to continue helping in the future, or do you want to abandon Brant and move on to more lucrative pursuits?
I will move up in front of Brant, so then I will be taking the damage if anything comes our way.
Sounds good. And in the meantime, goblins continue their assault on the kobold. Wow, they're just not good fighters.
Continue their assault.
This is why goblins don't win fights. Brant, I do need to ask you to roll a death saving throw. It should be a word that says death saves. Please click that word.
Where am I looking?
Front
middle of the
sheet,
sheet.
below your hit points, to the right.
Okay.
Got it. 10 is a success. So you are closer to maintaining, closer to living than you are to dying at the moment.
So right above where it says death saves, click one of the circles next to successes.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
Goblins.
Got it. Thank you.
Just terrible. I think if left alone, these kobolds might actually win this fight. But in the meantime, this kobold is going to have seen how many attacks it took to try and drop Aiden, and instead step up and go after Gillian. Gillian, kobold, coming at you, hissing and slashing with a dagger.
It hits. And
22 for 5.
I'm down.
Ooh,
Oh,
you're at 1.
Oh, yeah,
got
I'm at
no
1,
advantage.
actually.
You're at 1 hit
advantage.
point. Yep. That wasn't
So,
a crit.
And that is a good example of how quickly a fight can turn. But in the meantime, kobolds are still trying to work it out over here against these goblins, Driving them back. 13, not gonna do. Aiden, what you doing?
Ooh,
Take
close.
a swipe. Oh,
No. As Aiden attacks goblins. 2 goblins. Short bows. Boink. Boink. Really, guys?
like kobolds just mow through like 20 goblins.
That's what it's going like. Gillian.
All right.
Come on,
as he
Gilly,
took a swipe
and you can
at
do
me-
it.
Oh shush! And I just raise up my middle finger right in his face, and Eldritch Blast comes out of it.
That
All
will
right.
be at disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
I know. But if I move away, it's gonna be bad anyway.
10 will not do.
So for future reference, you could action disengage and not take an attack of opportunity when you move away.
You can use the
Yeah.
disengage action, but that does sacrifice your action for the turn.
Oh well.
Just
Goblins. Yep.
sure everyone knows that's an option.
Sure. Finally,
All right.
Vaz.
Okay. Can I see the enemy from where I am? Like, would I be able to hit him with a crossbow without hitting either of my friends?
Sure.
Let's do a light crossbow because that's really the only thing I can do right now.
Okay.
You could okay.
I do?
You
Yep.
could also attempt a medicine check to stabilize Brand
Bah, that's boring.
again. Just letting you know.
But Gillian is at 1 health. So it's like
Valid. No,
That's
just
fair.
Don't
No,
doubt
that's
yourself.
fair.
Go with
That's
what you say.
I'm going with what I say.
Ah, you went with the wrong saying.
Yeah.
Wrong decision. It was a mistake. Never listen to the DM.
Never listen
That's
to
the one who
DM.
encouraged me.
Never listen to me. I'm full of terrible ideas. But Vaz, yes, you look down, you see that Brant seems to be stabilizing on their own. You turn, fire the crossbow, but just not quite. From across the
Dang it.
way, you hear twang to twang, 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 twang. Arrows raining all over the place except into kobolds. And then finally,
Finally.
the kobold falls. And Brant, I do need to ask you for another death saving throw.
You can do it.
Oh no!
Oh, that's the exact opposite of what we want.
Oh shit.
Please
That's
mark.
2, isn't it?
So that's 2 fails.
Please mark 2 fails, and you have 1 success.
Okay.
All right, and the goblins start pouring into the breach. They start firing down the hall, trying to shoot this kobold. Yeah, why do they even try? Kobold Elite sizes up Gillian.
Let's go.
No.
That misses.
Aiden, bring us home.
Actually, I think. Okay, so do I have any indication that nat 1 death save just happened?
Yeah. I mean, I personally feel that death saving throws are like the overly dramatic, I'm dying, like you're sitting there like, tell Grandpa Joe that I love him. And then
What?
like, "Bleh," and then
That kinda
blood
shit.
just like spray.
One of the terrible shots from the short bows like ricocheted and hit Brand.
Yeah, something obviously popped over there.
Something over dramatic and ridiculous.
Yeah, like
I
Brant,
will.
Brant, you think it's the big one, you're coming wheezy. What do you do, by the way? Like, this is your death scene, so what are you doing as you flop about there? Or are you serene?
Well, I'm unconscious, aren't I?
No, you're trying to stabilize.
I mean, in terms of game mechanics, yes, you're unconscious, but flavor-wise, not necessarily.
All right. I have puppy dog eyes as I look at my companions. Like, really? Are you gonna let this happen to me?
Which is what I was saying is I will take the attack of opportunity from the kobold.
Okay, Kobold's gonna try.
Stabilize Brent instead of attacking.
Kobold Elite takes that dagger attack. No.
Not even
Aiden,
close.
please roll me a medicine check and do better than a 10.
Oh, I'm not good at this. Yeah!
You are! Enthusiasm makes up for it.
Stabilize. Okay, and then right back to the kobold.
And then right back to the kobold. And at this point, the goblins are going to pour in. Goblins, if you can't take out this kobold, come on.
Come on. There we go. That hits.
That does hit. That's only 3 points of damage, though. That's not enough. That hit. There we go.
There we go.
This type of precision firing can only be happen from the Empire. The goblins pour in. You have stabilized your friend. You have retrieved the key. You have defeated the kobolds. Congratulations, party. You have overcome the challenges. After a time, Brant wakes up, and you are presented with a carefully wrapped pure white apple. You are cautioned, do not touch this apple. You have the key in hand, and you have the luxury of a long rest. You recover, turn your spell slots, you heal up, and you look at this key. And I think that's where we'll close for this evening. And I would be happy to continue this storyline for you guys to find out what's behind that dragon locked door at another time. But congratulations, you have successfully assaulted Sunless Citadel and dealt with the kobold infestation.
Awesome.
Woo!
Hooray!
Well done. And I hope you guys had fun.
Good.
That was good.
So, that's what I was aiming for on our Sunless one-shots, is kind of a, 3 to 4 hour set. That was kind of a little bit of most of the stuff I do. Usually I dig a little deeper into backstories and that sort of stuff, but this kind of one-shot is set up more fun. I think some of you may be joining me for longer campaigns in the future, so I look forward to playing with you there. These characters are yours. You have created them. If you want to continue using them, you're more than welcome to. I'll be happy to get you a copy of the stats. If you decide that, hey, it would have been cool if made just a little bit differently, take the inspiration of the character and tweak it as you like. It's all up for grabs. Any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you'd like to state about your characters or about the game? Go for it.
Thanks for DMing, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of fun doing it.
I was a little
Dungeons and Dragons,
nervous.
so fun.
I heard I was a little bit nervous, and I think I heard hit me again.
Vaz, go ahead.
Thank you for making my first experience at this game so fun.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it, and I do. Very important notice.
Oh.
The way I play is not the only way to play at all. So there are hundreds of styles of DMs. If there was something about this that you hated, make sure you bring that up, because there's probably somebody who plays the way you'd prefer. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with you guys. I'm glad you joined in.
I'm gonna be the parent here with Vaz. I'm so proud of you. You saved someone as a healer.
Yeah.
I'm proud.
Well,
good job, Brett.
Well executed.
Your
Thank you. Thank you very
along
much.
with Aiden.
And
Now,
what
if I
this-
was
I'll be honest, I was half expecting that to be a suicide rush there, but Aiden's pretty confident, so
Yeah,
he was
the Leroy.
that was
and
of
really
Leroy.
just wanted to get the queen before she even knew what was happening.
yeah, that was
The
Yeah.
a little on the
Honestly-
foolish side, but that's fine. It worked out.
It worked really well, honestly. Like, it was so close.
well, and the other half of the point was to, okay, I'm right up in the middle of them and I'm attacking their queen, so they're going to attack me instead of my squishy
True.
companions.
Thank you.
Yes.
dude.
Yes. So wait, hang on. Who said they were nervous? Because I didn't hear any nerves throughout this. Y'all
That was-
seem to be in it.
Aislinn, I was a little nervous going into it, but you made it really approachable and chill and fun, and I liked it.
Cool. Glad you had fun with it. If you guys do have any suggestions, if you like, oh hey, you know, it would have been nicer if we had done this or that or something else took longer, let me know. You can shoot me a note, you can send me a DM, you can yell at me right now. And by the way, you'll probably see a few clips of your performance this evening showing up. Please take all of the comedic poking I do in good faith, because I poke at myself at least half as much again as I poke at other people. But I do really like poking at people.
Right back at you.
Yeah. So this will be on the we were streaming, so it is on Twitch. It will be in the Twitch videos for a little bit. Usually in about a week, it shows up on the YouTube. And I forget to do things like say this, but for those of you out viewing, or for those of you who might be viewing before, please follow Captain Reboot. If you happen to have your free Twitch if you happen to have Amazon Prime, you can do a free Twitch subscription. It's free to you. It comes with your Amazon Prime, but it does generate some revenue for the stream, which we used to do things like buy modules and cool little graphics and that sort of stuff, and kind of carry us forward there. You can also follow us on YouTube at Captain R3 Boot. So not Captain Reboot, but Captain R3 Boot. And we have a lot of videos up there, and we love feedback because it gets Sin all excited and happy, and that's cool too. So Twitch, Captain Reboot, YouTube, Captain 3 Boot, and we hope to see you there. If you'd like to play a game, reach out to us. We're always happy to have more players, because I have a lot of energy, and it's good to have other people to bear the burden of entertaining me. So there we go. So let's see. What do we got going on? Today's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, I don't think we're streaming, but I'm playing somewhere else. Shh. High 20 sides. Thursday, I think it's the 4th of July, so I don't think anything's going on. But Friday, we're back again with Tormana.
Yeah, we're playing Silthorn and D over here.
Silthorn and D are taking steps.
Yeah.
Saturday, Dark Isle. Sunday, I believe Fallout is not playing because it's week, but we'll be playing our Princes of Darkness. No, sorry. That's right. I screwed up my schedule. Not Friday, sorry. Or not Sunday. Friday, yes. Sunday, no. I'm bad at calendars. There's a website that you can go to, CaptainReboot.com. You should go there. Captain R3Boot. Sorry, Captain R3Boot.com. You should go there. That's where calendars happen. But yeah, thanks all. Kyle, if you can hear me, I think we can kill the stream. Kyle?
We kill the stream. No,
Kill
don't
the
kill the
stream.
stream.
Kill the stream!
No.
Say what you want quickly.